This is Tyler Jones, and you're listening to the No Name RC podcast.
Nitro is the glory. Welcome to the No Name RC podcast with your host tonight, Keenan White, aka Lefty the Great, and if you are unlucky, the Finnish village idiot, JQ. This is the RC podcast with no name, but plenty of content. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some serious bench racing.
Yes, indeed. Nitro is the glory, but ebuggy pays the bills. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 22 of the No Name RC podcast. It's me, your main man, Lefty the Great, and I'm fresh back from PNB, but I'm not fresh because I'm really tired. I'm back home in the DR. My birds are chirping, my pigeons are hungry, my dogs are happy to see me, my wife and my family are happy to see me, and but we have a race to talk about, so podcasting must go on. Before I get going, I'd like to shout out and say thank you to our sponsors. First off, I'd like to say thank you to Fast Race. Remember, FastRaceShop.com sponsors the 10 question, 10 second segment. FastRaceShop.com has these awesome, blingy shock caps and honeycomb shock bladders, the originals as they say. So, if you guys want to get some bling bling Fast Race Italian merchandise swag on your cars, go to FastRaceShop.com, type in Lefty 2019, and you get 10% off your order. We do appreciate that, everybody. We know that every little plug helps for us. Every little coupon code that you use helps us in some way. Also, shout out to AssaultRC.com, sponsors of the Invisible Speed segment. Brent Densford came on with Assault RC. You guys know they have small trinkets and gadgets for your 10 scale needs and some 8 scale stuff. Like I always say, I highly recommend their tool holder. They also have some pretty cool stuff for the oval enthusiasts and stock enthusiasts. So go check them out at AssaultRC.com. Type in Lefty19 and get 10% off your order. We greatly appreciate it. And of course, thank you to JQ Racing for the rant. And of course, let's not forget all of the No Name RC podcast listeners from around the world. I checked it the other day. I counted how many countries that this podcast has been listened to, and it's over 50, almost 60 countries. That's pretty amazing. So I appreciate all the support. I was at PNB this weekend. We was giving away stickers. I gave away all my stickers that Brent done for me, I think in the first day. So if I didn't give you some stickers, I apologize. Man, I met some really awesome people that really like the podcast. They gave lots of compliments, and that makes us want to do this even more. So they enjoy the interviews. They enjoy the rants, the setup segments, and all of it. And that's good to hear and good to see. And the love is greatly appreciated. Also, I want to say thank you to all my JQ Racing family. We done it big this weekend. We really done it big at PNB. We had a great PNB. We had one of the baddest ass pit setups and biggest pit setups seen at any race. 8 tents. Every little nook and cranny was there was no space left. People were on the outsides of the tents. There were people walking around in JQ shirts, banners all over the place. I truly appreciate all of you guys coming out, supporting, and being a part of the team and having fun. And then we actually did well. We had cars in every A main besides Pro Buggy, E-Buggy. Max had fun, had a little bit of hiccups in his main. Congratulations to Trent Walker, who came up, made all 3 of his A mains in open. Truggy, E-Buggy, Nitro Buggy. Had some issues in Truggy. Not sure what happened in Nitro, what happened in E-Buggy. And Nitro Buggy had some throttle issues or servo issues, but well done, Trentus, man. Super proud of you for doing that. Even in Sportsman, we had Mike Anderson do really well. He came 3rd in Nitro Buggy. That was his first time ever going to a PNB. I also want to say shout out to Jason Stubbs, young kid from Texas, came up with his dad. They worked hard all weekend. I believe Jason bumped from the C to the A. He was leading the A, and then he had something. I think his engine moved. Good kid, good father, really good people. It was good to see them. Congratulations to Jeff. He done well too. He raced 4 classes. He made the A main in 3 of those. Greg Degani won over 40. We talk about all of this in the recap, but I just want to personally shout out to all these guys, as well as my good buddy Salty Joe. Came up, he did well. Ryan Millington made the A main in ebuggy. So hey, it was a good weekend. Thank you to all the JQ family. We really had fun. We should, we're here to stay, and we are the bad news bears of RC. We are the motley crew of misfits, but we are a team and we do things together. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart for coming and supporting. Thank you to Dave, Lycom, and RaceTime Entertainment for putting on such a great race, giving us great pit spots. That was greatly appreciated. Shout out to Bobby Moore and Trackmasters. They did a kick-ass job on the track. Biggest track I've seen in a long time. I think generally everybody enjoyed it. The Joker lane was great. The mogul section was a breaker as well. Good stuff. All over and all, great event. Rocket Car. Oh man, we were so excited about Rocket Car. Thank you to Tony Scarcella, who put a lot of time and effort into doing it. We had a big G rocket with 40 pounds of thrust, but when we kind of rushing to finish it off, and something we didn't connect properly, and we failed to ignite our rocket. Unfortunately, I think if we did, we probably would have landed over in the next state over somewhere. And congratulations to Techno. They really won that. Their car flew. Joe Bornhorst and Tebow, they did a great job. I really enjoyed the Rocket Car. There was a big crowd out there. It made things fun. It broke the monotony of just practice. Kudos to RaceTime for doing that. And hey, it was a great event. Great event. 3 days long, tired. Voices kind of sketchy, but I'm glad I went. And it was awesome to meet all the people that I talked to online, and all the people that came up and support and told us about the podcast. Even there was a contingent of Canadian guys there. Matt Dixon was one of them. He drove all the way from Ontario, and that was our guys from Ottawa. I want to say Ottawa. I don't know which province. I think it's Ontario, Ottawa. I'm not sure. But Dennis Mayville, Paul Vanderweel, they drive JQ Racing, and then you had Adam Ross and another guy who I can't remember his name, but he has one of the best beards I've ever seen in RC. And, I was fun talking to them guys. I got to tease them because I've kind of found Trailer Park Boys recently. So I've been watching that, and I was like, what's this all about, eh? And, you're going to drive these cars. And, it was fun to meet those guys. And they drove all the way from Canada to come down and race PNB. So that was great, And then the Bermuda boys are up racing from Bermuda. It's a good event, great event. Everybody seemed to have fun, and everybody left tired. So we talk more about this in the podcast. On another note, we actually have some sad news in RC. Brian Kinball passed away, as you all know. I believe he passed away Thursday. Excuse me. And Brian Kenwald is an icon in RC. I never met him personally, but I grew up seeing his commercials in the magazines, the Dirtinator commercials, and he was a bigger than life figure in RC, and he truly will be missed. What he has done for RC is truly amazing. And RIP to the Dirtinator, man. We owe a lot to Kenwald, and he was a small man but giant in stature in the RC community, and he's truly an icon and a legend, and may he rest in peace. And to all his friends and family, you have our condolences from the No Name RC podcast. Also, I would like to shout out condolences to my good buddy Jason Frank, who I saw at this race from Florida. Great kid, always smiling. His father passed away while he was actually at the race. And you would have never have known it. He was still smiling. He was still racing. Was still having fun. A really great kid. I teased him a lot. And my condolences out to you, Jason, about your dad. I know how you're feeling. I recently lost my father last year, and kudos to you for sticking up, staying there, racing, and doing it with a smile. Yeah, it was good. It was good to see all the Florida kids up there, Jackson Brunson, Lee Setzer, Julian, teasing those guys all weekend. Even got to see, teasing Alex Vaughn all weekend, which I do on a regular. Yeah, it was a great event, man. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. And, hey, if you guys have never been to a PNB, you should go to one. You should go to one and check it out. That's my opinion on that. Don't take my word for it. Go check it out. So, few things to talk about before we get into the Assault RC Invisible Speed segment. Couple of more shout outs to some people. I want to shout out to my boys Andrew Rizzo and Enzo, who has the coolest name in RC. Enzo Albertoni, I think that's how they say their name. I'm a part of their Positive RC group. It's growing. It's almost at 2,000 members. These guys, I like it because it's a place where people go in and do some positive things. And that's definitely needed in RC. So I want to say shout out to those guys for that group. It's growing. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's really good. We have one race coming up soon. And that's next week, Easter. It's a Dxr race. It's the old venue of the Neo Buggy race. The same guys who who built the track for Neo Buggy, they're putting on the Dxr Dirt Kings race. They got a lot of top European guys coming there. This is a cap race. I believe it's only Nitro Buggy and ebuggy, like old Neo ways. I'm excited to watch it. RC Racing TV will be covering it with Nick Damon, who will do an awesome job as usual. If any of the Dxr guys are listening to this podcast, contact me. I'd like to get you on before the race, if possible, so we could talk about it. If not, we'll do it after the race. But looking forward to watching that while I chill out during Easter. Then, of course, we have Silver State coming up, which is the same week as the first round of RCGP, which is a good race. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I'm going to get to the Philippines, but that's all right. I mean, people, Degani wants me to come to Vegas, but I think I'm going to chill out. My wife is, I got a family here, and as much as I'd like to go to one of these races, I don't know if it's going to be possible, but anything can change. We got time. So we got Silver State, first round of RCGP coming up. Just reading some RCGP news. They have a 13th driver for Beach RC, so that's great. And, we don't know who it is. Well, I know who it is, but I can't reveal who it is. But it's going to be great when they do reveal it. Also, they dropped a new video about the affiliate clubs program. So basically, if you have a club or track anywhere in the world, once this segment of the website is set up, you go there and put your club name, address, contact details. Because once these new people start seeing how cool RC racing is, they're going to need a place to go race and learn. So that's where these local tracks and club races and hobby shops will come in handy. So once that gets sorted, please go there and sign up there. Also, I have to shout out and say thank you to Beach RC, JQ Racing USA, and now the new Ultimate Racing Products distributor in America. Well done. Well done. I can't clap because I only have one good arm, so I hit myself on the chest and clap for you, Brent. Good move. Ultimate RC makes some great products. They got some great oils, starter boxes, tools, filters, engines, Nova-based engines, OS-based engines, and Brent's going to have all that stuff, has all that stuff, and we'll keep stocking it, and we'll be distributing it around America, so looking forward to that. Great news. It's always good to have another option. So Brent's doing big things, man. I love Brent. He's very open-minded, very forward-thinking, and, we couldn't do this without him either. Thank you for all your help. Shout out to Jerome Chambon and Donuts RC. JQ Racing Europe. With them, I was just talking to him this morning. He was showing me a new engine that he's doing. It looks good. Jerome's an RC fanatic. definitely have to get him on this podcast. I keep saying it, but I definitely going to get some of the French guys on there. Like to get Savoya, Yannick Aiguan, talk to them for a little bit, as well as Jerome. And shout out to Andrew Rennick at Model 2 in UK. All the guys over there in UK and Ireland, they got the Piston Paddy race coming up soon. I believe Bradley is going to the Dxr race. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't know. Shout out to all the JQ guys who are going to the Dxr race. We got some news coming up soon for the UK for JQ Racing and whatnot. So yeah, that's about it. Let me not ramble. I mean, not just some more news, just things that were on the top of my mind. Another race coming up, I believe. I was talking to Joey Showers. He earns SCRC over there in El Paso, Texas, Arizona border. I can't remember how it works, but their track is actually in 2 states. They have a race coming up in May. It's for the I might be wrong, for the proceeds go to an MDA charity, muscular dystrophy. I'm sorry if I'm butchering this, but as you know, Joey owns a track, Christian runs a track, and Corbin. If you don't know who Corbin Showers is, he's an awesome dude who races RC. He's I believe he suffers from muscular dystrophy. So they put on this race. The proceeds go to that charity to support that and help people with this problem. So once I get more information, we'll probably bring Joey and Corbin on and we'll talk about it, because we try to support everybody in RC, and this is for a good cause. So we definitely have to talk about this. But yeah, it's all good, man. PNB, we had a new winner. That was awesome. The snow's melting in some places. It's starting to be springtime. Nitro is in the air. Racing starting. Oh man, I am excited for this race season. We're gonna have lots to talk about. And hey, we're still pushing out these podcasts, man. Thank you guys, man. I really mean it. Like all the No Name RC podcast supporters, we can't do this without you, man. We appreciate it, and we do it for you guys. We may not agree with everything in life, but we all enjoy RC. And when I go to these big races like East Coast races, I see that, and that warms my heart. Yes, we may come from different backgrounds, we may be different races, we may be different nationalities, political opinions, but the one thing we have all in common is we love this crazy thing called RC, and we want to have fun doing it. We want to win, we want to compete, and I see that every time I saw that this weekend at PNB, and it warms my heart to see things like that. I'm getting all mushy, but that's how I feel, and it was good to see. Remember, we have that one common denominator, and that's RC, and that's our thing, and we love it. So enough of me rambling on. If I forget anything here, I'm sorry, but I'm kind of tired, and hey, it is what it is. Let's call up Joseph and get into the Assault RC Invisible Speed segment.
You are now locked in to the Assault RC Invisible Speed segment. Check out AssaultRC.com for the latest products for all your performance RC needs. Featuring the best lubes and specialty tools on the market. Use promo code LEFTY19 at checkout for 10% off your entire order at AssaultRC.com.
Welcome to the Invisible Speed segment, brought to you by Assault RC. This is the segment dedicated to setup help. If you guys have any questions about setup and want Joseph to answer them, please go to the Facebook page and find the Assault RC post and put the question there, or hit me up on PM and we'll get these questions answered. What's going on, Joseph? How you doing?
Same old.
Yeah. So this week, our question is... We have two. We have one from Josh Garbett. He says this is kind of a newbie question, but he wants to know about changing diff oils. What, like front, center, and rear? Why put certain weights where? He says you run really high weights comparative to other cars. Why? It seems like the higher weight would create greater drag. So, what do you have to say?
Okay, that's a kind of a long question or long answer.
Condense it.
I'll try. I'll do my best. I'll do my best to use as few words as possible. He said drag there at the end. I don't know what he means by drag. Thicker oils create more acceleration. So you have more drive. The car acts more four-wheel drive with thicker oils. And thinner oils, it allows the diffs to diff out more, so you have less drive, less acceleration. So I'll just break it down from diff to diff first. So the front diff, I think, is the least critical. Like a front diff won't make a bad car good or a good car bad, so you can't really mess it up. A thicker front diff oil will give you less off-power steering. So when you enter a corner, you'll have less steering. So you can put thicker oil to calm the steering down a bit. Then you have more acceleration, more on-power steering. So out of the corner, the front end will pull more. You'll have more steering. Then if you go to a thinner front diff oil, it's basically the opposite. So more off-power steering, more steering into corners, and less on-power steering and less forward bite or forward drive. Center diff, I think, is more critical than the front. So if you mess up the center diff, it can actually make the car, a good car, hard to drive. And that's because when you go thicker on the center diff, the car acts more forward drive. So the rear will be pulling more also. And that can make the rear end loose. So let's say you're on a slippery track and you have a really thick center diff oil. Well, when you go to accelerate, the rear end might want to step out and your car will feel loose on power. Also, if it's bumpy, maybe the car will be hard to drive through bumps when you accelerate. Like it just doesn't want to accelerate straight. So if your center diff oil is too thick, that's something that might happen. Now, why would you want to run a thicker center diff oil? That's because you have a lot more acceleration this way, so you'll be faster when accelerating. And also, it actually calms down the car off power. So off power, the car will be more stable with a thicker center diff oil, and you'll have less steering. Then if you go to the rear diff, I'd say much like the center, if you mess this one up real bad, you can make the car harder to drive. And that's because a thick rear diff oil is similar to the center in the way that when you accelerate, you'll have a lot more acceleration, a lot more drive, but it can make the rear end feel loose on power. So the car will want to fishtail when you accelerate. But like I said, the good thing is that it has a lot more acceleration. So it's easier to maintain your corner speed in sweepers, and when you accelerate, you have a lot more drive. Then also a thick rear diff oil like the center reduces steering off power. So the car is more stable off power going into corners and then less stable on power as you exit, but you have more drive. Then a thinner rear diff oil will make the car have more steering entering corners, so more off power steering, and then less drive. And then also in long sweepers, it won't be as easy to maintain your corner speed. So the cornering the arc won't be as round, I would say. Overall, all three diffs, I would say that generally speaking, thicker diff oils make the car more stable off power. On high grip, they make it more stable on power too, up to a point. But on most tracks, on slippery tracks, bumpy tracks, most of our 8-scale style tracks, thicker oils will start making the car unstable on power. Mainly you feel like you start losing the rear end. Thinner oils make the car more nervous, more aggressive, more unstable off power, but easier to drive on power. So it's more stable on power because basically you have less power transmitted to the wheels that have traction. So you're losing acceleration, but the car feels easier to drive. Except, as I said, on high grip tracks, because on high grip tracks, when you diff out, the car becomes unstable because of all the traction. So on high grip, going to thicker diff oils actually makes the car easier to drive on power also. So yeah, I think I covered most of it.
Yeah, I think so. So we're gonna do one more question here, and actually we can probably do two more. One is actually pretty easy. It's from Joseph Miador. Before we get onto that, about diffs, I actually forgot this. I remember you saying in one of your Facebook lives that a lot of pros use the same front and rear diff oils.
Depends on the track. They do it because you can maintain more corner speed. So the car is more stable going into corners, so you can go into the corners really aggressively, and then when you get on power, you have more drive through the corner and out of the corner. So it's especially good on European style tracks, which are more open, more flowing, higher speeds in the corners, and also really good I would say on high and low grip, on both.
Okay.
But it just gives you more drive. But there was another question he asked, which was about the JQ drivers using thicker diff oils.
Yes.
And that's because compared to some of the other cars, the JQ diff gear, the gears inside the diff, the teeth are smaller. So there's less surface area of the tooth going through the oil and turning in the oil. And because of that, there's less resistance. So we use a thicker oil to make up for that. So the thickness of the diff won't be the same comparing a JQ car and the other if we use the same oil. But when we use a thicker oil, then the feeling will be the same. So that's why we use thicker diff oils. Also, I think the JQ buggy is really stable on power, so we can get away with using thicker oils. So I think it's those both things together. And when you can get away with running thicker oils, then you'll be faster.
Yes, awesome. I don't race much, but I haven't run under 10.10.4 in my nitro car. And that's pretty much where I start out on a lot of things. And I find it works almost everywhere. I haven't found the need to go down. I've always gone up from there. So, and I'm not the best driver in the world. So that's pretty good for diff oils. Our next question comes from Joseph Miador. He actually won the car stand last week. He figured out what I called you on Facebook on the podcast, found the meaning, and posted it first. It was pretty cool. So he won a No Name RC podcast car stand from our good buddy Josh Bohem of JBRC Designs. His question was two for you, actually. Does wheel balancing really make a huge difference? And he wants to know, for you, JQ, what do you do in your free time outside of racing and the business? Well, I can answer that for him. But anyway, go ahead.
The wheel balancing, it makes a difference, but it's a small difference, I would say. I think it's a lot like bodies. It's like visually, like mentally, it makes a difference because when you're on your starter box revving it up, it's all balanced and nice and not like wobbling all over the place. But then on the track, it makes a small difference too because you have slightly more traction. But for your average driver out there, I don't think they will notice a difference. And as for what I do in my free time, like the last few years, I haven't really done anything because I haven't really had free time. Like I haven't really been doing anything other than JQ racing and RCGP. But if I would do something, I would ride my dirt bike.
Yeah, you must be missing that.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Yeah.
Nice to go riding.
Yeah. Then I would say you have to do other things like trolling on Facebook, which you're now out of jail. But we'll talk about that when we do the DNC recap with
PNB.
I'm so stuck on DNC. The PNB recap that we'll do here shortly after I finish talking to the winner, Tyler Jones. So, as you guys know, if you have any more questions for the Assault RC Invisible Speed segment, please go. We're trying to do 2 or 3 a segment. We still, sometimes we have more time to do more. But also go to assaultrc.com. Check out some of their cool stuff. I highly recommend their tool holder, which I think they're going to give us one to do a giveaway with. Max just got one. He likes his. Mike Hill's got one. They have a lot of cool things. They got some good bearing oil. For you 10-scale guys who want to break in your 10-scale tires, they got a cool paddle, like sanding paddle for that. So go check them out, assaultrc.com, type in Lefty19, and get 10% off your order. We thank Assault RC for their support, and if you guys decide to buy from them, it helps us out as well. Thank you for your time, Joseph. I'm going to call Tyler, and I'll be back with you for the PNB recap.
Okay, cool.
This is Lee Martin, and you are listening to the No Name RC podcast.
So what's up, everybody? As you guys know, I'm freshly back from the PNB race, and this year we had a new winner. And I guess he kind of stamped his foot and showed everybody, hey, I'm here to do some damage. And that was Tyler Jones. What's up, Tyler? How are you? 2019
Hey, man, what's
PNB
going
Champ. Oh, good, man. How you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
You must be tired, because I'm tired.
Yeah, I've been trying to catch up on stuff the past few days.
Yeah, did you leave Sunday night to go home?
Yeah, I had to skip the ebuggy main to make class Monday morning, which sucked, but...
Okay, that was actually one of my questions, like what happened to ebuggy. So how far of a drive was it for you?
It was 7 hours back to my actual house, and then it was 2.5 hours to my dorm.
Okay. So those who don't know, Tyler actually won the Nitro Buggy race at the PNB this year. It was a really great race. He beat Tebow, Bornhorst, Lutz, Adam Drake, and a lot of fast East Coast guys to do that. So it wasn't an easy event. I didn't really know who you was. I've seen you on Facebook, but I've never really talked to you. I know you was an up-and-coming young racer. But being as you won, let's get you on the podcast and talk about it. So why don't we let the people know who you are? You're Tyler Jones. You're how old?
I'm 19.
19. Where are you from, bud?
I'm from Rochester, Indiana.
Okay, so you're in Indiana. So let's talk about how you got into RC. How long you've been doing this for?
I've been doing this about 10 years.
Okay. Where did you start out with your RC career? Well, RC enthusiasm.
Well, my dad's always raced since I was born. And when I was younger, I had a little gas truck that I play around with. But then I went to the motocross side while he raced RC cars.
Mm-hmm.
And I stopped doing that. And I picked up, I believe my very first truck was a Jammin' X2 Truggy.
Yes.
And ever since then, I've just been racing and just hanging out, having a good time with everyone.
Yeah, I had that same truck, man. Jammin' was fun back in the day. Jammin' Jay and those guys, they kind of changed the game, and I was coming through. I'm a lot older than you, so it's all good. So this was how many times have you been to the PNB race?
I've been there about 3 times, maybe 4 times.
Okay. And is this your biggest win to date?
This is by far my biggest win to date. I was so pumped.
Yeah, I'm sure you was. So how's racing there in Indiana? Let's talk about that for a little bit.
During the winter months, it kind of sucks because it snows and, well, it'll get warm and then it'll snow again. But here lately, the track's been drying out because it's been getting warmer. So I'm stoked to be running outdoors again.
What tracks do you have there? Isn't the State Line track there as well?
Yeah, State Line RC is about 2 hours from where I live. I've raced there for as long as I can remember. There's a bunch of tracks around in Indiana, mainly Ohio, that I would travel to. Because unfortunately, some of the tracks have been closing down around here, which sucks. But
yeah, State Line's actually closing down this year, so yeah.
Yeah,
that sucks.
The last
well.
King of Kings this year.
Yeah.
Sucks.
That's a big race too. I didn't realize how big it was. I know a couple of our guys went there, and Drayton raced there last year, and I didn't realize it was like, wow, it's it's a really big race. Shocks
Yeah,
it.
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So during the winter, what do you do? Do you run a lot of 10 scale as well?
Yeah, I've been running 10 scale all winter, so.
But do you, I guess you prefer 8 scale, or do you like them both the same?
I mean, I like 10 scale, but if I could be outdoors running 8 scale, that's where I'm going to be at.
Yeah, man, because, our thing is like nitro is the glory. That's what we say on this podcast.
Yeah, I saw that on your post. I like that.
Yeah, man, it is, man. But ebuggy pays the bills. That's the thing about it. So, ebuggy is really popular. So, PNB, what was your practice and prep leading up to this? I know for people who don't know, you're actually in school. You just started college. So You're doing that full time. You have a job as well, because you said, I finished work doing that. So you're a busy guy. Like, how do you find time to practice and prep for these races?
Usually I don't get to practice during the week. I usually show up to the track Friday for the event because I don't have class Fridays, which is I'm pretty lucky for that. But usually wrenching is whenever I can find time. Usually, except like here I'm at my dorm. I only have my 10 scale stuff with me right now. Like my 8 scale stuff is at home, so my dad's been helping me out a bunch with that, which I really appreciate. And there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a bunch of guys who race and go to school, so they know what I'm talking about. Yeah. But I give it up to them. Everyone else who has multiple jobs and still has time to race RC cars and stuff, I give it up to you guys.
Yeah. Do you know Julian Malvinets?
Yep, Julian's a cool guy.
Yeah. He's kind of doing the same thing as you, working. He doesn't get to race much he's in school, so he doesn't get to race much. But when he does, he's pretty good. It amazes me the amount of fast guys coming out of that Midwest area, young guys. Why is that?
I think, growing up, I feel like just the Midwest, the kids, like we all have like such a good like bond. We all hang out together, and then we always just keep pushing each other every week. And I know like me, Colin, and Derek Weatherholt, we've always ran together since I was a kid, and Derek used to, just kick my butt every week, and I didn't like that. So just pushing every week to get faster and faster. And you got Cole Tollards in the Midwest. He's super fast. Spencer Heckard. You got Jared Wiggins. There's so many guys that I'm not listing, and we all just get to run together, and we all push each other. And I think that's what helps us out the most and pushes the Midwest.
Yeah, and it's what makes it even crazy is that you guys don't get to race nitro all year round.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty cool stuff. So you headed on to PNB when? Friday or Thursday after school?
I have class till 12:30 Monday through Thursday. So I left here, drove home, and then we left for PNB after that. And we got to the hotel about 11:30 that night. Mm-hmm. And my dad wanted to get up at 6 o'clock because he's super anxious to get to the track. But I was like, no, I want to sleep for a little bit because the track's still going to take a little bit to break in. So we showed up to the track about 8 o'clock that day and ran a bunch of laps with basically just the nitro car. I actually threw down the ebuggy just for qualifying.
Right.
But, tried a lot of things on the 8X and found things that didn't work and found things that really worked. So I was really stoked with the car.
Now, how much practice do you think you got in on Friday?
Oh, man. I know I ran a lot.
Yeah.
I was always like hustling to Marshall and hustling to get back in line just because I haven't had that much time with the car, and I just wanted to try a bunch of stuff. So just ran as much as I could.
Yeah. What did, obviously while we was there, I think Max and I didn't go there that early because I knew going to the track at 6 was kind of, it's not useful. You can't really learn anything besides the layout because the track has to break in. Like you said, it takes a few hours. Yep. When did you think it was at its best? Like mid-afternoon? It looked really good, like Friday afternoon.
Yeah, I think about like Friday around 3, 4 o'clock is where the track really started to come in.
Yeah. It was also a very different layout compared to... Did you go last year?
No, I didn't make it last year, but I went to the one the year before that.
Yeah, this is my second one. Last year was the 4-day schedule, and I really enjoyed it. Last year, we didn't have any of the wooden... maybe we had one wooden jump, and this year we had a few, including the wall and the Joker lane. Let's talk about the track. What did you like about it? Why do you think this track suited you? What was the positives and negatives about it?
Honestly, I didn't really seem. I think it would have been cool to maybe switch the Joker lane up, make it where the Joker lane actually slowed you down, like how the Monster Energy Cup does. But I just I like big jumps, and they were big jumps this weekend, and I was able to throw some whips and get a little style in, and that makes me just feel like loose, and I can drive better when I feel loose.
Yeah.
And I just feel more suited on this track than I normally do for some reason.
Do you? I know you raced motocross. You said. Do you think that helps you out a lot in your RC driving? Your ex motocross skills.
I think it definitely does. Being able to like control the car in the air and just knowledge of like avoiding the ruts when they're starting to form and avoiding the bigger potholes when they're starting to form. The track gets some character to it.
Yeah.
I didn't really race too long, but for the amount I did, I definitely feel like it's helped me a lot in the RC world.
Yeah, that's cool. I think so too. I mean, you look at guys like Joe Bornhorst. He used to race motocross, and then he was able to transfer over to RC and be successful very fast. Tebow still races a lot of motocross, and he's good. And he's always been good through his whole career. But you beat these guys this weekend, and that's the amazing thing. You qualified 5th, because I actually went back and looked at your race from the camera angle this this morning. And you qualified 5th. Your lowest position all race was 4th. You was in second, I think, from a lot of the race, and got into first near the end. Like, when did you know, like, all right, I got this? Like, when did you start feeling like, I'm going to win this?
Well, in warm-up, I went out. Me and Paul Wynn had a long talk before the main. We talked a lot this weekend about tires and what he was thinking, and I had changed my mind. I wanted to try soft compound reflex, and I did a lap, and I knew it was a bad decision. And lucky enough, my dad brought down the super soft reflexes, so we switched to those. And I got about 2 laps of warm-up after we got the tires switched, and my car was really good, and I was feeling good in warm-up, and I was telling myself, it's like, I'm going to win this deal. Because my dad was like, you just go out and drive like you did in qualifying, just take the mistakes away that you had, and you have the speed. And I always knew I had the speed, I just couldn't put it all together. And here lately, I've just been really working on my consistency and hitting my lines and not trying things that I shouldn't have, and just focusing a lot more. Yeah.
Did you use the Joker lane on your pit outs, or did you just randomly use the Joker lane?
My dad, me and him talked a lot about the Joker lane. Kevin Gahan from TLR, we talked a lot, and I think what set me the most was I was watching the Pro Truggy main because I didn't run Truggy, and I saw Lutz and Dakota with a few other guys take it the first 3 laps, and just the amount of time they had separated from the field, not having to deal with back markers, or if they wrecked and fell back in the pack and had to race up. I decided to take it the first 3 laps no matter what, and just get them out of the way and just go.
Yeah. Well, that plan obviously worked for you. No, I mean, and this also wasn't like you beat these guys. I mean, yes, Tebow had, I think he crashed and popped a camber link, but you just beat these guys. Like, guys didn't break and drop out of the race pretty much. You beat them fair and square. Like, I think that's badass, man. Like, how did you feel after doing that?
I can't explain the feeling I had after walking off the stand. My heart was racing. Like, the last 2 laps of the race, I was shaking real bad. Yeah. Jared Wiggins was actually laughing at me on the driver's stand because I was shaking so bad. But it was just so awesome. Everyone come over there and congratulating me and give me high fives and hugs. It's just an awesome feeling. And I've been so close, like, way too many times, and I just needed to put it all together, and I finally did.
Yeah. What other big races have you come close to it and where it kind of got away in the end that come to mind?
Reedy race, the first year I went, I TQ'd mod 2-wheel, and I just got kind of really nervous for the mains, and I ended up finishing 3rd. But CRC a couple years ago, I was really having a good run there, and I kind of threw it away in the mains. Chi-Town a few times, I TQ'd mod 2-wheel, and I kind of blew the mains, and I don't know, I just kept getting nervous for some reason, and then I just like put the nerves off to the side and just drove my race and came out on top.
Well, it was good to, like, I enjoyed it because it was good to see a young guy, somebody different win. And it's something that I've been looking for in RC for a while, because I've had this question and I've said it a few times on my podcast. Where is the next batch of fast 8-scale young drivers coming? You have the CJ Jellins and a couple of guys like that, but there's been like a gap since kind of like Ty came. And it's starting to see, like this weekend I saw a lot of the young guys like yourself. We talked about Jared Wiggins, like Jackson Brunson done well, and
yeah, Jackson killed it.
Yeah, Jackson made all 3 mains. Even for us, Max, he made the mains. He kind of had a flame out. We made some mistakes, but it's good to see you young guys starting to come up. And I like to say, like, and don't get offended like this, but we have a saying, like, don't be a fanboy, be a champion. And you guys are starting to stop being fanboys and starting to be champions. And that's what I like to see. I like to say Spencer Rivkin done that a while ago, and that's why he's where he is. And TLR is really pushing. I mean, they were at DNC, they had a badass pit this week. They had a bunch of guys there. I know Westergaard, I know Jason Frank, I know Alex Vaughn. Oh man, Alex Vaughn, something else. My mate, but it's something else. So it was good to see you guys. I mean, TLR is pushing. You got a lot of these young guys, like you said. You got even these younger guys. You got the Fullers that are racing a lot of 10 scale and 8 scale. What do you like about your new car? You haven't had that much time on it.
I think it's just different. Like the 2.0s, 3.0s, and 4.0s were just kind of smaller changes all the way through, and then just the 8X was like a brand new platform, and I think it really is what we needed. Like, we're now getting the car figured out. It's just a whole new car, and you just got to figure things out. And now that I'm getting more and more time on the car, I feel more and more comfortable every time I hit the track. And in the main, I don't think I made any changes for the main from qualifying, and my car was just, it's super. I didn't change it at all through the qualifiers. Actually, I got it good for Q1, and I just drove it. It was super easy to drive, and it was fast, and it just did everything right like I wanted it to.
And to be honest, Fenn's looking really racy with it too. I watched him at DNC, and it's funny. I said to Joseph, I said, man, Fenn's looking good. And typical Joseph, a leopard never changes his spots, he'll blow out. And he came second in the buggy, man, and surprised everybody. Yeah. And that's good to see because he's very talented as well. And then, it's good to see him doing well in Nitro as well. So you guys definitely have some a good program going on there. You work together as a team. That was good to see. You guys all supported each other. I thought that was great. I thought that was really good to see at this race. So good stuff, and kudos to TLR. So I have a couple of questions for you. Besides, I mean, we talked about you going to school and you're in college now. What are you actually studying? What do you want to be?
I'm studying high performance motorsports right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to work on a race team.
Like what type of race team?
I mean, anything I get my hands onto. I just love racing in general.
Yeah, that's cool because like my next question was, are you gonna continue to chase the RC dream while you're in school, or is it gonna come to an end? You think while
no,
things?
I'm always gonna probably do RC. Yeah. I mean, I've had a few guys message me and ask like if I don't race as much, but I've honestly been racing more than I did in high school.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is just there's more tracks around here, and just it's a little bit easier for me to travel to them now, with only being an hour away, not 2, maybe 4 hours away.
Yeah. What did your friends and what do you like the people think in your school? What you do with these RC cars? What do you tell them? Did they ask you any questions?
I have there's a RC club in my school that they go out and they have like slashes and stampedes and X-Maxes and stuff, and they go out and have fun. But they recognize, because I wear like a winter coat, TLR coat, and they recognize what TLR is, and I just get talking to them. And I've actually gone to a few of their meetings and hang out with the dudes, and they're pretty cool dudes. They just go and have fun and break stuff and do backflips at the skate park. But yeah. College-wise, like a lot of people think it's cool, but high school, I mean, I guess the guys that kind of did their own kind of race deal, maybe like late models of sprint cars or motocross or go-karts in that journal, they understood what was going on and like why I missed so much school to travel for that, and they understood it. And I think it just comes down to the person. Some people think it's cool and some people don't find it cool. It's just down to the person, I guess.
I think we have to make it cool as well. And we have to do that, each person individually. And I think with more young guys like yourself coming in, and, you know, I think it helps to change that image. I always say we need to stop treating RC like we're ashamed of it and show people what we're doing. Because, yeah, people will say it's toy cars. I like to call it scale motorsports because, hey, it takes a lot of wrenching. It's racing. You may not physically be in the car, but, hey, it physically drains you when you're up there for 30 minutes concentrating or 45 minutes concentrating. So, hey, I don't care what anybody says. I think it's a motorsport.
Yeah.
So, outside of RC, what other hobbies do you have?
I like to ride my bike to the skate park. I go to skate park as much as I can. Hang out with friends. I really like to play basketball and football. I'm actually in intramural dodgeball at my school right now, so I've been playing dodgeball on Tuesday nights, which has been really fun. But yeah, just hanging out with friends. I just like hanging out with friends and having a good time with everyone. So.
Yeah, what type of bike you mean? Like freestyle? Not freestyle, but what's it called?
BMX.
Yeah, just like what Chad Curley or whatever his name does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That
cool
guy's
stuff.
unreal.
Isn't he? He's badass, dude. I remember when he was young and watching him on TV, and now he's just like, he's killing it. He's killing it.
Yeah.
I love extreme sports. As big as I am, I love watching that stuff. My son loves all that stuff too till he falls off, and then he doesn't touch it for a while. So, cool. I have a question to you. You're a young guy. You've been into RC for a while. Is there anything you would like to see change in our industry?
I think all the negativity that comes on social media is one of the bigger things that I think needs to go away from the hobby for sure. Just for trying to get people into the hobby. And I mean, even at the racetrack, I mean, I know a few times I've gotten pretty upset and I've let it show a few times, which obviously isn't good because you have people come to the track and wanting to get into the hobby, and they see someone I've not maybe throwing a fit or something and screaming at people or cussing or something like that. They may not come back, which is just killing the hobby itself.
Right.
So I think just negativity on social media and just your emotions on the driver's stand, like I get it. I mean, everyone's got emotions, but just trying to keep everything under control and just having fun with people and just doing what RC is actually about.
Yeah. It's racing, dude, and racing gets people heated. Competition gets people heated, and I think in order to be good at anything, you have to be intense. And it may come off as being an asshole, but I understand what you mean. But we're also all, I mean, let's be realistic. We're grown, man, most of us, and we're racing these cars and we're having fun. I think we have fun. Social media has changed everything in the world now. I mean, what you just said, you can apply it to anything.
Yeah.
I just think I like to see definitely need to get more people into the hobby, and we definitely need to. It comes back to what I said. We need to show people what we're doing. So, you know, it's a long process, but hopefully we can change. Things have to change, and for things to change, things actually have to change. Any drivers you looked up to when you was coming up? Like who did you when you was young? Who did you like as a pro driver? Who was your I wouldn't say idol, but your influence, your biggest influence?
Man, got me on the spot. Adam Drake, I've always looked up to him. Mm-hmm. He's such a nice guy and just goes out and has fun, and he's super fast. But I mean, I look up to Mayfield and I look up to Cav, just their success and what they get to do. Like they're traveling. Like I love to travel, and just I mean, looking up. I mean, Dakota's not much older than I am, but I've looked up to Dakota for a while because of his speed and just how he is at the track and hanging out with him. I think just every pro in general I look up to just for their success and to be able to do this hobby for as long as they have and go out and win races all the time and get the like I said, get to travel. I think traveling is awesome. I love when I get to travel. So,
have you been out of the States yet?
Out of the States, no, unfortunately. I really wanted to go to Australia Worlds, but I couldn't make that one happen.
Yeah, man, you got to, man. I come from a little island in the Atlantic, and we had to travel, so, and even when I went to PNB, I had to fly. I live in the Dominican Republic, so I had to fly up. Traveling's great, man. Do it while you can, and if you can get paid to do it while you do it, it's even better.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to go anywhere. It'd be cool to do some RC racing over in Europe, too, I think. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe next year you can do well, and you could go to one of the RCGP races there. That'd be great.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully TLR comes on board next year. Be great. Okay, here's my question to you. Any advice for any of these young drivers coming up now? There's a lot of them that are fast and they're coming up. What would you tell these guys?
Don't let the pressure get to you. Don't let your nerves get to you. Just go out and just do what you know you can do. Just go out and have fun and throw some whips now and then. Get yourself feeling loose. And the biggest thing is just having fun. When I'm not having fun, I'm not doing well, and it shows. And when I'm having fun, I'm doing really well. It's just, you just got to go on and have fun and hit your lines and just don't get, I was really nervous this weekend having Tebow and Dakota right on me battling for like 10, 15 minutes like we did, but you just got to overcome them.
Yeah. What do you do how do you mentally overcome not having fun at the race? Like when you're not doing well, how do you kick yourself in the ass and make yourself do better?
I think it's just sitting down and realizing, I know most of the time it's usually me trying things that I know I can do, but I try to make up time, and it comes back to biting me in the butt, and I get mad at myself. But I just sit down and reevaluate and just go over what I know I can do. I know my cars are good. I just made some mistakes. Just forget about them, and it's a new run next round.
Does your dad help you out a lot with that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's that's really cool that he still actually, does he even race still, or he just?
No, I'm getting him to race this summer at the King of Kings. This is the last run. The last one. He'll be running 40 plus Nitro Buggy, but I've been trying to get him raced over the years, but he just has more fun working on the cars and being a pit lane. So.
Yeah, that's dads, dude. They want to see every dad wants to see their children do better than what they done, and I'm sure he's super proud of you, man. It's too bad you guys couldn't even go out and have a celebratory dinner or something because you had to drive all the way back home right away.
Yeah.
But that's what it takes, man, and I think that's impressive too. That impresses me a lot that you're in school, you have a job, and you're still able to come race. When people tell me they can't race because of this and they can't race because of that, then I'll use you as an example, because you're young, you're in school. I know, and in school you don't have much money, and you're still racing, and you just won one of the biggest race on the East Coast, or one of the biggest races in America. So I don't want to hear that. I think it's awesome.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
What's next for you?
I have the Factory Tracks invite at E&N Hobbies this weekend, and then not really too sure after that. I'll just play it how the weather goes.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to try and make it to VCRC's season opener down in Terre Haute, Indiana, the end of the month. I'm going to try and make that one if the weather looks good. Just playing it how the weather is and how I can do with my school and stuff. So,
Silver State?
No, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I really want to do that race, but
just can't make it. Just can't swing it for school.
Yeah, no.
Good
I'll
stuff.
I'll be at Ace Go Nats though, so I'm stoked to get down to Thornhill.
Yeah, I think I'll be going to that too. I've never been to that race. Oh, to that track. It looks good. It looks like it's going to be great. A lot of fun. I know in 2016 the racing was good. So out of those, I have a question because we're on the Midwest area. Who's that next really fast young guy you think coming out of the Midwest? Who's gonna blow people away?
Oh man.
Not saying that you're not young, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I'd say Caden Fuller.
Yeah.
Mason's little brother.
Yeah. They're fast. They race. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, they're both like really quick, and Caden's got way quicker over the past year since I saw him, and he gets faster every time I see him. He also throws more whips every time I see him. But
yeah, these whips, man, I feel if I can pull off one whip, I feel like I've accomplished something. You know, so we didn't have all of that when I was coming up. Yeah, the Fullers are really good. They race a lot down there at Hobbyplex. We have a young guy that actually races a lot with him too. His name Ashton Abdul. He races at the Plex a lot. I mean, it's just amazing how many races are coming out of that area, man. It's good. It's good to see. It really is good to see. But hey, man, we have a section that you have to do for this podcast that every guest comes on. It's called the FastRaceShop.com 10 question, 10 second segment. So we're going to pause and go into that.
all right, sounds good.
Now we go into the Fast Race 10 questions in 10 seconds segment. Fast Race is a world champion option parts brand made in Italy. Fast Race drivers include Davide Ongaro and Riccardo Berton, and they run the innovative performance-enhancing parts that Fast Race makes for most 1/8 buggies, including the world-famous honeycomb shock bladders and caps. Go to FastRaceShop.com and type in Lefty 2019 to get 10% off your purchase now.
So what's up, Tyler? Are you ready for the FastRaceShop.com 10 question, 10 second segment?
I feel like I am.
All right, cool. Question number 1. Fortnite, Players Underground, Apex, or COD Blackout?
Blackout.
Okay. Number 2, 10th scale or 8th scale? One of them has to go.
10 scale.
Number 3, favorite motocross rider?
Ryan Dungey.
Number 4, PS4 or Xbox?
Xbox for life.
You suck. Sorry. Number 5, PNB is?
Amazing.
Number 6, high bite smooth track or blown out loose track?
Blown out loose track.
Really? But you done
Heck
so.
yeah.
PNB was none of those. So I mean, it wasn't that high bite. Had some loose spots. All right. Number 7, best track you have ever raced on?
Oh, man. State Line RC, probably. The layouts are killer.
Okay. Number 8, your dream full-scale car?
Porsche 911 GT3 RS.
Really? That's cool. Number 9, if you didn't race RC, what would you be racing?
Dirt bikes.
And number 10, what's your favorite subject in school?
Math.
I sucked at math. I still suck at math. So that's good stuff. But hey, man, I want to thank you for coming on. I know it was short notice. Congratulations on winning PNB. It was a very difficult race to win. You've stamped your name, Don. I hope to see you on some more podiums in the next, when you do get to race some more. Would you like to say thanks and shout out to some of your sponsors or people that's helped you get this far?
Yeah, I want to first shout out my sponsors, TLR, Horizon Hobby, Spectrum, Trinity, Hobbywing, J Concepts, Brent over Bones Brew, killing it on the fuel and the engine work, Sandwall, VRP, 920 Designs, Easy Customs, Johnny 5 Designs, State Line RC, RC Fun Park, Rally Motorsports, and Ian Custom Products. And then big shout out to my parents for all the support and all the money they've ever spent on me and getting to travel. And Corey Richardson, he's been a big help with just being a mentor and going me to the races when it just helping me out as much as he can. And Mike Weatherholt, just racing with him all these years, him and Colin, just building a friendship and all the good times and bad times we've had together just racing and having fun. And there's so many people I could list and say thanks. Just basically everyone who gave me a shout out, gave me a hug, high five. My phone absolutely blew up after Psycho Nitro Blast, and I appreciate all of it, all the support.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. I think people are just happy to see somebody different, and not saying you're not unknown. You're definitely known. But you know what I mean? Not one of the regular, you beat some fast guys, dude. You should be proud of yourself.
I was more of like an underdog, I think, going in.
That's great. I love it. I love that type of stuff. Makes RC exciting, man. And I know you're busy, and I appreciate your time, dude. And thank you for coming on the show, and keep up the good work. And hopefully I'll see you at one of these races, and we get to sit off and talk. And,
yeah, man. Appreciate coming on here.
All right, dude. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Yeah, you too.
Bye-bye.
Rocky, you want to go racing? You want to go racing?
So, PNB is done. We decided to do a recap on it. So I have the 40-plus champion, Greg Degani. He's all excited. I have Jeff Keeton, or Big Sexy as I like to call him. He finished 5th. And also give him the Ironman competition because he ran a bunch of classes. And, of course, we have the Finnish village idiot himself, who I'm glad didn't attend, Joseph Quagran. What's up, guys?
What's happening?
All good.
What's happening? How's everything going? Did you make it home fine? Did you do okay getting home?
Well, this is what happened, right? So I gotta drop Degani off at the airport Monday. So Degani doesn't want to leave. He's tuning engines for people, talking all this stuff, talking to people. He's talking about let's go do this before we go to the airport. I think he was gonna miss me. So I go to get money out of the ATM and I can't get no money out. So then he put some fuel. We put $40 in. He checks all the fluids and decides to put more coolant.
$45 in.
No, yeah, it was $45.
No, 5 cents.
Right. And he buys this special oil to put in the van and all this type of stuff. So, Joseph, you owe him $85. And I dropped him off at the airport. And I'm driving back to Charlotte because I had to go to Mike Hill's house. And I literally had $8 and $2 and quarters in my name. I couldn't get any money out of my ATM card. So I got like about 45 minutes, maybe an hour out of Charlotte. The light came on the van. I was like, oh no. Pulled into some random gas station, went to the gas clerk with $8.
Did you start begging? Did you go around to all the people and be like, I'm really not from around here. I'm just trying to get home. I'm not homeless. I just need to get home. Can you give me a couple dollars? Were you that guy?
No, the $10 was just enough to make it to Mike Hill's house.
There is so much change in the van. You could have made it to Florida.
Probably. But, that's how we do it. It's a unicorn budget thing at JQ Racing. The good thing about it, Jeff, I didn't have to catch a bus in because that would have sucked. So, we have Joseph. What's up? Are you even here? You've been quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing, dude, you're out of Facebook jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. Who
I'm
got
out
him
of probation.
Jail?
Well,
I'm out on probation.
Then he had like a 30 days, so he's only like 10 days into his 30.
Yeah, but he started to have serious withdrawals. He's like, I need Facebook. I need it for RCGP. Rah, 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 rah. And I'm like, no, you don't. So, I got a little bit of connections and I got him pulled out of Facebook jail. That's what we do for people. I wish I wouldn't have done it, but hey, I done it because the first thing he does is go on and start talking crap on Facebook. Typical JQ. Get him out of jail.
First thing I did was get more entries for RCGP.
But you don't need Facebook, remember? That's what you said on the last podcast. Jeff, remember he said
that?
No,
not for myself.
Well, I tell you what.
I was having withdrawal symptoms. No, I wasn't. I needed it because I need to message people.
Screw all that. I'm impressed that you have connections with Facebook to be able to get him out of jail. I wish I would have known that.
I don't have connections with Facebook. I just say I know people in high places and low places as well. That's all I'm going to leave it at.
You called Trump, didn't you?
That's right. I pulled in a call. I called the Donald.
You called the Donald.
Yeah. I said, look, man, he's not one.
Honestly, I'm kind of impressed too.
Yeah. But anyway, if anybody wants to know, yes, he's out of Facebook jail and yeah, he's back.
I saw he already snorted a few lines because there was a couple posts, so he's good.
Yeah. He was like, just like that guy is like, I need a post on Facebook. It's like Stewie over there shivering in the, I can't post. I'm not going through.
I know, and that the first post he makes is that bullshit top 25 thing with all the drivers on there saying it's not a World Series.
Yeah.
I thought we fucking covered this. Like the fact of what driver shows up doesn't make it a World Series. The fact that it goes throughout the world makes it a World Series. Like, what was the point of that post? I don't get it.
Well, everyone doesn't agree with you. apparently who goes there also matters. So I made that post.
All right. Well, enough about you and your Facebook addiction. Let's talk about
not an addiction.
All right. Whatever you say. Let's talk about PNB. Jeff, you got there late Thursday night, I think it was.
I did.
My trip started Tuesday. We got there Thursday morning. Greg, you got there Friday. Myself and Salty Joe picked you up at the airport. Overall, I'm very tired because it was a long 3 days, but it was a great event for JQ Racing, period. I mean, last year, Jeff, you wasn't with us. You was over to the other side with Bobby, and this year we had 8 tents set up, and they were full. Like, we had no more space. We had people on the sides of the tents.
Yeah, people were overflowing. As I like to call it, it was the trailer park.
Yeah.
I mean, we had people flowing outside of the tents. Like, it was nuts. I've never seen that many team drivers in one area.
So, Jeff, you could see why I called Mike Hill and Lefty about 3 days before setting up and requested my table be at the very end.
Hey, Greg.
I knew that was going to happen.
Greg, talking to the mic, dude. Stop moving all over the place.
I don't know where the mic is on this thing.
Well, you're moving all over the place. Are you walking about? You got to sit still and talk. Can't move about and get excited. Can't raise your hands like you did after winning here at the race. Yeah, it was pretty packed. Degani has his set up. We had a cat, which is Larry, the lion cat from the Rodmans were there. We had Rocky, the race dog. We had Bilotti in there. You know, Bilotti's always exciting. We had a lot of new guys in there. We had this.
I still wish we had a rooster. If we had a rooster running around the pits, that would have been freaking epic. That would have been the best.
There were so many JQ guys there. There were people that wherever you walked, there were shirts. There was a guy. Todd was there. Todd Tucker. He was out in his new camper flying a JQ banner. I was like, "Who's that?" And then I realized it was him. It was crazy. So it was a good.
Does that sound? Does it sound like I'm talking on the mic now?
No, it sounds like you're breaking up somewhere. Don't you got?
Sounds like you put the speaker on.
Yeah, don't put the speaker on, Greg. Come on.
What speaker?
Don't you have earphones on?
This is the problem here, because Greg has been around a long time.
Oh, you're telling me that I need to turn my speaker down on my computer?
You need to put some earphones on or something.
Oh my God, this is getting really technical.
Now you got it. Okay, we can hear you. Just don't touch a freaking thing.
Got it. Well, that's
Greg is like the dinosaur, man. I was shocked when I saw his freaking overnight charger to charge his damn nitro car. Like, dude, get a fucking charger. Like, how hard is that to get a charger? I don't understand that.
It is a charger.
Now we can't even hear you.
He probably tucked his laptop into his belly.
You can't hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, my God.
Hold on, I found some earphones.
Good stuff.
Oh, God.
Did you find them next to your nickel metal hydride batteries? Like your 1500 cells from back in the day? So, and we also had a JQ car in every buggy main except Pro ebuggy. So that was good.
Thanks, Max.
Yeah,
what was Max on that one?
Oh wow, it's way better listening through headphones.
Oh shit, we can hear you now. Look at that. Hey, welcome to the 20th century. Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
Glad to see you showed up.
Yeah, Max, he didn't get much practice with his ebuggy because he had electrical issues, and then in his B main, I think someone just railed him in the sweeper and broke a shock end or something. So, but he likes the new car; it's good, so he's excited about that. So,
what new car?
The new ebuggy that he's running.
Oh, he was running that?
Yeah. So
us 40 and over guys, Greg, we're not privy to the new shit. We don't get that. We don't get the cool stuff.
Yeah, and you done well too, Jeff. You ran what? Open ebuggy, open nitro buggy, and both over 40 plus ebuggy and plus 40 ebuggy and nitro, and you made every main except the open nitro main. So good stuff to you.
That's because I only finished one race. And I had a third for the round for that race, so that was a good thing.
And Trent did well. Trent qualified in all three of his mains in truggy, buggy, and ebuggy. But he had bad luck in truck, broke an axle. I don't know what happened to him ebuggy. And in nitro buggy, his dad said his servo went or something. I don't know what happened. We had multiple guys in the Sportsman A main. Salty Joe was doing well in Sportsman A main, and then he got hung up on a nail and cut his engine off. And Mike Anderson actually was in third until the last lap, and he lost it. And I gotta give congratulations to my boy from Bermuda, Kenneth on time, Neville on time, Timer Mabry. He actually won Sportsman, so that's good stuff to him. And I'll even give some props to Shane Barria this weekend because he did well in Open. So there we go. It was a good weekend.
It was the best to me. It was the best track layout that has ever been at this facility.
That's good because that was my next question. It was definitely bigger than last year's race track. Definitely bigger.
So I have one question. The Joker lane thing. How did that work?
Great.
I loved it. I thought it was awesome. Like it was really fun.
What were the rules? Was it faster? Like I haven't watched.
So you got to use the Joker one time in qualifying, and you can use it whenever you wanted to use it. In the mains, you got one Joker run
per 10 minutes.
Per 10 minutes.
So
you can use it anytime you want, except on the opening lap.
So like some guys used all 3 Joker laps right away in the 30-minute main. And got a big lead.
I thought you have to use it like within that 10 minutes. Once every 10 minutes. Oh, okay.
Nope. That's how they calculated how many you got.
Right. They couldn't regulate it every 10 minutes, so they had to just let you do it 3 times.
I mean, sorry, go ahead, Greg.
So I did it after getting gas because that's the smartest thing to do because you go full throttle out of the pits, clean your motor out, and just hold it wide open through the sweeper straight.
Yeah.
See, I used in the 40 plus main, I used it because I had a really, really bad start. I had like a 70-second first lap. So then I used it my next 2 laps, and I went from last to second. And then I went to first and led for like 5 or 6 laps until the first pit stop. And then when you and Chicky took your pit stops, then that's when you guys passed me back in the pits.
Right. Because I asked Ciccarello before the start of the race, I said, when are you going to do your Joker lap? And he's like, when I pit. And I said, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So we stuck to it the whole time. Although there was times that I should have probably taken the Joker lane to get around traffic, but I just stuck to my guns and just did it when I pitted.
Yeah, it was a great race. I mean, you and Chicky were talking crap to each other the whole weekend. It was fun. I mean, you guys ended up battling it out to the end, and I knew you was excited. Like when you won, we were screaming for you, and he was like, "Put your hands in the air." I was like, "Check him." He was having a blast. Then for your podium picture, you got your sidewinder, the fuel bottle all up high. Yeah, you want to get that.
Yeah, he acted like he fucking won the Worlds, man. I was like,
I was actually more excited than when I won the Worlds.
I was just going to ask you that.
No, why is that?
Because when I won the Worlds, it wasn't a challenge. It was easy for me. But now it's like racing's really hard. So it's like.
Well, what about DNC? All right, you won DNC. What was more a better win? This one or DNC?
This one, of course, because we battled head to head to the end. The DNC, I just got lucky to win because he broke and he was way in the lead.
And you done well too, Jeff. You came 5th, top 5 for you, so that's good stuff.
Yeah, it was all right.
You had a rough weekend, but I think you had fun. You helped out a blast. You helped out a lot of people too.
My issue with the track was I just couldn't see. Like it was really because the dirt's black, the pipe's black. The fumes and the smoke and the lighting in there isn't the best. I have a really, really difficult time seeing my car. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't until the last round of qualifying that I actually got a good feel for the track. In my last round of qualifying, I did freaking awesome. I think I had seconds for the rounds in every class except for my open Nitro one, and I didn't finish because I don't even know what happened.
You wear glasses, right, Jeff?
Yeah.
Can't remember. I think for some reason this track, it really is difficult to see. And it's just because the smoke is at your eye level. Right. It kind of collects around your eye level. and you're constantly re-blinking and refocusing all the time. At least I am.
No, I was too, and it's hard. I always struggle at this race because of that. It's just hard to see my car, and I ran all white bodies this year too, and it was still just it's hard.
How about you, Greg? How did you like the track?
I liked it a lot. I thought it was good. I mean, it was difficult for me because I usually struggle on these kind of tracks that are smooth.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of like Neo Buggy style. It's more of an electric 10 scale feel to it. And I usually struggle. Well, now I didn't, this is like the first time I've ever raced using tire sauce.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been to a race where I've actually sauced my A-scale tires. So that was kind of a learning experience.
What was
talk about it. You freaking just spray liquid wrench on your shit and let it soak in. Now, I made a mistake during qualifying. I was going out there with my stuff soaking wet, and my very last qualifier at like 3 a.m, my last 40 and over race, I didn't even sauce them at all because it was my tires had so much sauce in them, and that was actually my best run. So I realized finally you're not supposed to go out there with them, wet. You're supposed to go out there with them soaked in, basically.
Well, see, okay, Greg. So I'm going to teach you something right now. I am going to teach you something. So you're coming to my side of the world over here, right? So we sauce all the time around here. So you should have come to somebody who maybe knows what the fuck they're doing and said, hey, how do you apply the sauce? Instead of just thinking you know it all.
Well, it had nothing to do with applying the sauce. It was a fact that, using
No, there's
a
way that you apply it. You don't spray that shit on just straight on the tires either.
Well,
because it'll make it greasy. It'll make it doesn't dry right, and it'll make it actually greasy.
Well, then I sprayed it into a bottle, and then I sprayed it into a bottle and dipped the toothbrush in there later on.
Okay, yeah.
And rubbed it on with a toothbrush. Is that how you're supposed to do it?
Yeah. And then you got to let it sit for about at least 10, 15 minutes, but the longer it sits on the better it is.
Well, like for the buggy main, I let it I let it soak in all 8 hours.
Yeah. See, and it was probably...
I applied it, it dried out, and I reapplied it, and it dried out, and then I went out. It was awesome.
Yep.
What did you use,
So
Jeff?
did you have to sauce, basically? Was it a big difference?
Absolutely.
What did you use, Jeff, for sauce-wise?
Liquid wrench.
Yeah, that's what everybody used. Yeah.
That's all we ever use.
So you use that on outdoor tracks too, Jeff?
I do.
Really?
We at the track that Max is going to this weekend. I'd sauce every time on that track.
Yeah. I mean, I can see it on a track that doesn't wear tires out. That would be the key. But I think on a normal track that wears tires out, you don't need it.
Yeah. Because see, anytime typically we usually sauce when the track still has moisture in it. If there's moisture in the track, we'll sauce. If the track is dry, we won't. That's usually the way we go.
Well, I thought the track was really good. I wasn't a fan of the wall. At first, I think people were having difficulty with the wall because it kind of had a kink in it and it wasn't as smooth. But it seems like people figured it out later on. Dave put on a great show. I mean, I enjoyed the monsters and all that stuff. That was fun. He had some big ass flamethrowers that scared the crap out of me a couple of times when I was down there helping out. Track was good. I didn't take any laps on it. Track was good. I'm not a big fan of jumps on the very backside of the track where that double. But I mean, people kind of got it and figured it out. And I enjoyed the rocket car thing, man. I was a little upset our rocket car didn't ignite. It suffered from a dysfunction, and then Max jumped it, and it kind of...
Imagine that.
Yeah, we had
dysfunction.
We had the biggest rocket.
Why didn't it ignite?
I don't know. Tony, actually, kudos to Tony. He put a lot of work into it. He made a switch and all that stuff for it, but I think the wiring didn't connect properly before they went out because we kind of rushed out there to do it. We actually was tuning the engine, trying to get it up to par, but that engine had 40 pounds of thrust. If that would have taken off, I'm pretty sure we would have landed probably in the next state over somewhere. But Max jumped it. We couldn't ignite it. And the techno guys, man, that ebuggy came down. I mean, they had like a 6S battery, a big ass pinion. That car had to be doing 80 miles an hour when it hit that track, when it hit that jump. And then when it got in the air and ignited those rockets, it was fun. I mean, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
That video I did of Joe's, has 27,000 views.
No way. But I think things like this make it exciting to go to some of these races. It's different. Everybody was out there. It was fun. It was, and that's why I like East Coast racing. They do fun things. That's why I like it over there, and I like going to the races, man. Nobody takes themselves. I mean, people get serious, but East Coast people much more relaxed. You go into camps, people offer you beer, offer you something to drink, always some food. Want to talk to you for a while. I enjoyed that part of it. I actually lost my voice Friday from the fumes and talking so much. So I thought it was a good event. I mean, it was long. I mean, Degani, you came, he's like, wait for me till I finish. I was like, man, I'm not waiting. You knocked on the door at 3 a.m. We figured out that Jeff is a super ninja who can sneak into the hotel room without anybody knowing and sleep without anybody knowing. Like, it was so funny.
And leave without anybody knowing.
Yeah. And you really should have took a video of us snoring. It would have been so awesome.
Oh my God. When I walked in the room, Bilotti, Greg, and Keenan were snoring, and it was like a symphony in there. I mean, Keenan was definitely kind of the lower, or no, he was the higher notes, and Bilotti was like that deep bass, low, like deep snoring, and then Degani was just like this little cute little girly fucking snore thing, and they were all in sync, like they were all breathing the same. It was freaking hilarious.
It was definitely a fun race. I don't know, I didn't go to races back in the day, like when Degani would talk about, or when you guys were older, but if anything, I felt like that's probably how races were back in the day, like how our pits were, and everybody was having fun, and just a lot of banter going on, man. The banter was awesome. It was great. It was a good time.
Yeah, back to the wall. I was at a PNB years ago that had a wall, and it was like really easy to do. It was kind of lame.
That's because they ran it up higher this year.
Okay, well, this one, yeah, I liked it because every time you went up to that thing, you really didn't know how to, like, it wasn't just automatic. In years past, it was just like automatic, easy. You went up to this thing, like the angle you went up to it, because you're coming out to it on that corner, so your car's kind of like compressed to the side, and it was really tricky to like do it well, and not go too high. One time I went too low, and you catch the wheel and spin and do a 360 and stupid stuff like that, but it was pretty cool. And I like when you exited it, your car would like compress at the bottom and hit that bump,
And then it was almost like a jump. Yeah, it was almost like a jump out of it.
Yeah, it was really cool, actually.
Yes, because this year they went up 2 tires higher. So that's where that transition, before it was only 2 tires up.
Right.
And
I mean,
so
the higher
the transition, the transition was always on the angle. Well, now you had the angle and then the actual straight up and down part that you had to navigate. And I
think we should go up 2 more tires for next year.
Yeah, go all the way up to the JC mark, right?
Yeah. Well,
so
people did jump
racing
over
at 3 a.m. How did that work? How long were your days?
Well, I was the last race for qualifying. We ran 3 rounds. I was in the very last race of the day, and I finished my qualifier at 4:15 in the morning.
Sunday morning.
And then when did you run on Sunday?
And we started the mains at 6:30.
Yeah, but you wasn't in the mains. You was.
No, I wasn't in the mains.
Yeah, but guys like Bilotti and Amtrak.
Yeah, Lorenzo wasn't in lower mains.
Lorenzo was in a race at like 3-4 in the morning, and then he was in the first race of the day.
Yeah.
And he missed his races.
Yeah.
Hey, Greg, when we went there, didn't we skip the last qualifier?
Probably. Yeah.
I think we just got 2 in and made the main, and then we went to the hotel. I think so. Just skipped it.
Yeah, that was definitely grueling. A lot of our guys, they were in the lower mains. A lot of them stayed at the track. They had campers and stuff, but that's part of the PNB, but that's no fun. I'm glad I wasn't racing.
But see, that's just it though. That's what people need to understand though, is before freaking Joseph gets into this, see, that's why European races are the best and blah, 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 and all this. This race is a one-off race where you literally race 24 hours a day. And people like it. Like, I don't mind it. I didn't mind racing. First of all, my weekend started with, I was there Friday, and I wrenched all my stuff. I think I ran twice. Friday for practice, I ran 2 or 3 times during the day. And then I left the track at like 4 o'clock, went back to the hotel, slept from 7 p.m. till about midnight, 1 o'clock, got up, went back to the track at 2 o'clock in the morning because there's less people. Like the lines during the day to get on the track, it was a 45-minute wait to get on the track to go run 5 minutes.
It wasn't that bad.
Bullshit. That line was all the way to the podium at one point.
Yeah, but it wasn't that bad. I think the most I waited was 15 minutes. And I ran all day.
I don't buy that. It was long.
I just didn't go up there when there was a line all the way to the podium. But.
So
and then when the rocket car was going, I went up there when the rocket car event. I didn't care about that. I must have ran a million times when the rocket car was going.
Because there was nobody there. But I went back at 2. I practiced from 2 till 4. And then I left at 4, went back to the hotel, slept again, and was back because my first qualifier wasn't until race 22, which was right around 11 o'clock. So my point is if you manage your time right, you still get your sleep in. It's just not the normal way. It's just not, a normal way. You just gotta manage your time and know and understand when you race and when you practice. And if you do it right, you'll get plenty of sleep. I got plenty of sleep. Like I didn't have an issue running at my last qualifier at 4 o'clock in the morning because as soon as I left for that race, I came back and I made all the mains except for the one. And I knew I wasn't racing until 3 or 4 the next day. So I went back to the hotel, went to sleep, got up at what time? I think we all got up at the same time. No, me and Degani went to the track together. So it was like 10, 11 o'clock when we went to the track.
Yeah, and I missed my C main.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you didn't get out of bed.
He goes, what happened? We're on race 7. We woke up like 8, and then race 11. Greg goes, well, I guess I will make that main. I was like, guess not. But it was good stuff. It was good stuff. I enjoyed it. Excuse me. Anything else you guys want to add before we go in and talk about the Nitro Buggy main?
Well, we gotta address the drone gate.
Okay.
We had drone gate 2019.
Yeah.
Joe Bornhorst almost died. He almost died on the driver's stand. Almost died on the driver's stand. We got to address that.
I saw a video. It was pretty much fake news.
I'll tell you what. No, it came close to him. Look, all right. We all know the guy who did it, my boy JB, or Baby Kanai, as you call him, Joseph. He doesn't run a JQ, but he always pits with us because it's our friend. Like, we have fun. JB's crazy. If it wasn't for JB and at DNC, me and Mike Hill probably would have starved. So, thanks. There we go. JQ unicorn budget. Make it if you can,
And he did bring some Bojangles this week.
Yes. But, JB was pitting with us like he usually pits with us. And he was flying his drone all weekend. He was flying it. And then we were sitting, there was the final qualifier. Was it? I think it was the final pro qualifier.
Ebuggy, wasn't it?
Or Nitro Buggy. One of them. I can't remember.
I think it was Ebuggy.
And it went up. It was having some issues. So it went up. I was sitting right next to him. And it went up into the middle. And it was low. And I was like, JB, what are you doing? It's like, I have no control over it. And it went right over. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to hit Joe. I was just like, I'm just sitting there like, if I could have shrunk, like I was like, if I was trying to do, like my big ass, like how big I am, if I could have made myself like an ant, I would have, like, because I was just like, it's gonna hit him, and it, like at the last minute he got it, and then they were announcing it on the. Because it was.
Oh, it was Nitro Buggy because I was pitting for Julian.
Yeah, it was. It could have messed up. Like it could have hit him. Like he was concentrated. Joe was concentrated on racing. It was Joe's the tallest, probably one of the tallest guys in the stadium besides Lutz, and it almost hit him. He had to like kind of swat with his hand, and it moved away. So I understand that.
He didn't. He just leaned back.
Yeah, but that's how close. I'm telling you, Joe. I watched it. I
saw. Anyway, I'm going to come clean here. So,
it was you. You were controlling it from your kitchen. You were using live RC and controlling the drone. Come on, Joseph, come clean. You were using live RC feeds, and you were controlling the drone from your living room.
So, JB runs a Kyosho, but he likes to pit with JQ. So, I said, look, you have to pay. If you're going to pit with us, you have to pay. So, I said, look, just take out Bornhorst. That's all I care about.
No, you did not.
He did. Yes, I did.
He didn't do that on purpose.
But I didn't know he would use the drone. But that's good. He was thinking out of the box.
No, it was stupid. It was silly. I mean, we all know that, but it wasn't done on purpose. And JB, honest, I was sitting right there. I watched him fiddling with the controls, trying to get control of it. There was another drone flying.
Joseph was driving it. I'm telling you, he was flying it from his couch. He was sitting there saying, "I'm gonna show you, fucker."
Yeah. But I mean, I get why Joe was upset. I mean, he still qualified good, but it could have hit him. I think JB got called to race. JB got disqualified, which I was like, I think was a bit extreme. I think that was more like Babcock because he was the race director and he was upset.
That sounds a bit extreme to me, to be honest.
It was an accident. Like he didn't do it on purpose. There was obviously after that a few, tempers flared a little bit. I mean, JB admitted that he was wrong and he said sorry and stuff like that. But Joe was upset, and I get that too. And then, tempers kind of flared when he walked across our pits, and something was said.
Yeah, because you had Degani and Max sitting there egging him on.
Yeah,
I didn't say nothing.
No, you don't have to say anything. You just have to be there. And
you were laughing. That's the problem. You were laughing at
But it wasn't it wasn't laughing at the incident. Nobody was laughing at the incident. They were laughing at what was said, and that's your protege, Joseph.
What you mean, Max yelling out "Average Joe"?
Yeah, he said that, and when he said that, I did honestly in my brain, I did a face palm. I was just like, oh God, why did he say that? And I just walked off, and I was like, this is not gonna be good. And then when I get why Joe was pissed off. Like, you guys think, I'm not trying to be a punk or anything. I understand 100% why he's pissed off. And
let me tell you something. I don't know if JQ remembers this. I don't know what year was it at the DNC when they started running these drones all up in our faces during the races, and I was going nuts about that. And it's because the drones were controlled by some media or something.
Yeah.
Like official media. But these fuckers are all up with their drones all up in our faces. Just like that. I mean, not as close as that, but it was close enough.
Yeah.
Do you remember that, JQ?
Yeah, I think it was DNC.
It's DNC. Yeah, it was pissing me off.
Yeah, so you understand why Joe was pissed off. But it was an accident. And, I felt bad for JB because the funny thing is, JB actually wanted to race. He was practicing. He was it wasn't like DNC. He was there all day. And, JB is not going to back down from anybody. So he didn't. But we cleared it all up in the end. And it was an unfortunate accident. And it's over now. I mean, Joe still, I think he ran on to TQ that round, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know. It's just drama at RC races. But, JB was a part of JQ, he was pitting with us. So we kind of get the blame as usual. So, the bad news bears of RC.
Yeah, JB was pitting with us. It was his drone, and Joseph was flying it from his couch. I mean, duh. How are you not going to get blamed for it?
Joseph isn't that coordinated. Trust me. Joseph, he couldn't. I've said this many times over. Joseph could not plan an orgy at the Playboy Mansion. So, he's definitely not that coordinated. So that was the drawing gate for people that I was there, you was there, and Jeff. And you know what? I'm glad. You know what I'm glad about, Jeff, is that you actually went over and helped mediate the whole thing as well.
I did.
Yes. So that was very good of you. You went over to the techno camp. I talked to Matt. I tried to talk to Joe. I know he was a little angry. But that's just racing, man. These guys, are intense. They do it for a living.
This is how I mediated it. Just so you know, and as a team manager, you can learn from this right here. So before I went to go over to Joe to go talk to Joe, I told Greg and Max not to mention Joe's name again in the rest of the race. I said, if they do, I'm going to kick them in the nuts, right? That was what I told both of them.
Was this before or after Degani yelled out, "You blew it"?
This was after.
Okay,
so I told Degani and Max, if you guys mention his name, I'm going to kick you in the nuts. So then I went to Joe, and I talked to Joe, and Joe was pretty cool then. He was good. Like he was giving his side of everything that went on. So I told Joe, I said, look, Joe, I said, the drone thing is what it is. That's water in the bridge. That really has nothing to do with JQ Racing and you. It doesn't have anything to do with Greg and Max talking shit about you. Nothing to do with that.
On the table.
I said, from here on out, if Greg or Max mentions your name for the rest of this event, I'm going to come and get you. I'm going to have you stand right there, and I'm going to kick both of them in the nuts. That way it's coming from me, and it's not coming from you, but at least you can have the satisfaction of being there watching these guys get kicked in the nuts.
Yeah.
And he was good with that. Like, he was like, done.
Yeah,
good deal.
We smoothed it all over, and it was fine after that. But
so then secretly I was hoping they were going to mention, I'm like during the main, I'm egging Greg on, say his name, just so I can kick him in the nuts. But
well, because Joe actually won his race and didn't blow out, I didn't say nothing. He did good.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Tebow and everybody was taking each other out, and then he cruised down to the win. So he did great. But if he would have blew it, I would have yelled, you blew it. I used to yell at the courts all the time if he blew out. You blew out. I'll tell you. That way you learn to get better and get faster.
Yeah, he tells me that too.
I mean, look. You're saying these guys do it for a living. There was 5 guys there that were actually fast at that race. Everyone else is just lap traffic. I mean, how hard could it have been for these guys?
Yeah, but you know what? I mean? You know what the thing is? And this is the amazing...
Yeah, the great thing is the one guy that wasn't expected to win, Taylor James, kicked everybody's ass.
Tyler Jones, sorry.
Tyler Jones.
He kicked ass, dude. He didn't. These guys, okay, Tebow had the cable link pop off, but this guy was in first and second. Like, he was in second for most of the race. Like,
he was in the lead for most of the race. A lot of the race.
Well, yeah. He didn't. He didn't win.
Let's talk about the main now.
All right.
Yeah. So what's happening?
The Nitro Buggy main.
So let's look at the top guys that were fast in this race. So you had Joe Bornhorse. Was he TQ? Who was TQ?
Lutz.
Lutz was TQ.
Lutz was TQ.
You had Tebow. You had Bornhorse. You had Drake, and you had Fenn and Joseph. Fenn was looking fast. I'm telling you now. Just like I told you.
What happened?
He didn't.
Flamed
out.
Yeah, something like that.
He had OS. Yeah, see?
Yeah, you had Evan Vale. I can't bring up the thing.
Well, everybody else in the main was lap traffic.
Yeah, but they were fast.
5 guys.
They were fast East Coast guys. These are the guys that Tyler Jones was supposed to compete with. You know what I mean? And then Bornhorse and all these guys are supposed to race each other. And this kid, he came out of nowhere and kicked ass, and it was great. It was good to see somebody else do something, and especially.
And it wasn't even a fluke because he was fast in qualifying. Like he was getting 2s and 3s for the rounds of qualifying too. So it wasn't like he just got lucky. He was fast all weekend.
Yeah, well, you guys know before this podcast, before we started recording, I talked to him earlier. And it's super tough. He couldn't even run his ebuggy, man, because he had to drive back home so he could go to school in the morning.
Right.
That's what I liked. But he, Let's talk about that, because I actually had to go watch the main again today. And, man, we saw when Tebow popped the camber link. Was he in the lead when that happened, Greg?
And he was in the lead. He just got back into the lead and started to pull a little bit of distance from Tyler. And he was going at the end of the sweeper on the left side. It looked to me like he came in with a little bit too much speed before the drop down. And he tried to kind of pitch the car a little sideways so he would slide and land at the same time to be faster on the corner. And he just caught an edge and it just barrel rolled. And when he landed on the barrel roll, it just snapped his front end off.
Yeah, but
they pretty violent.
They fixed it and got it back on the track.
Right. Yeah.
And
he had left the driver's stand. He was running around the facility because there's no runner at these races. That's another thing. They need to have a runner.
Yeah,
at this event.
That's what
ridiculous.
That's what messed Max up. Flamed out. Nobody could find him, and it took minutes for he had to walk down and tell Bobby and Mike that his car flamed out like something. They couldn't find it.
Well, Max didn't look like he was in any hurry.
He knew it was.
I saw what was going on, and I was just laughing.
Good team guy there, Degani.
Yeah. That's just
it was so ridiculous. I had to start laughing.
That's just typical Degani. So what about you, Jeff? Let's talk about you. You know Tyler. You know Tyler Jones better than us. Why don't you give us your version of him and what happened?
I was very proud of him. I mean, I know the kid's always been fast, and him and I have always, I've always given him a bunch of shit just because he runs TLR. Mm-hmm. And I always give people shit that run TLR. So he and I always kind of had that little thing going back and forth, but because he runs J Concepts and I run J Concepts and stuff, I mean, we've always talked to each other and kind of associated. In fact, I just raced with him at that Knoxville, the Tennessee State Championship race that we were at.
Yes.
And he was by far the fastest one there. And at that race, he got taken out on the last lap and ended up finishing second at that race. But no, I mean, the kid's always been fast, but I wouldn't have put him, I would have never thought he would have won this race. Mm-hmm. He's never shown that kind of
19.
Speed. Just turned 19, yeah. I think, didn't he?
Somehow he looked much younger.
Yeah, he does. I thought he was younger. I thought he was like 16. But and the thing I like about him, Joseph, he's in school, he's got a job, and he doesn't get to race or practice much. You know?
Well, what was funny, because when we were at that Tennessee race, I was like, yo, you going to PNB? He's like, only if TLR sends me, and right now they're not sending me. And I'm like, why wouldn't they send you? You're like the fastest TLR driver on the East Coast. And he's like, I don't know. You need to go tell them that. Yeah. And then, of course, he shows up, and then, of course, he freaking wins. Yeah. It's like, good thing they sent him, you know.
And TLR had a good team presence there. I mean, they didn't have no banners or no tents up, but they had Fenn, and they had a couple of guys. They had Tanner Danny. Westergaard was, hey, you know what was funny? Westergaard and his wife pulled up, and his son, and he saw the JQ van, and he was instantly looking for you, Joseph.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, JQ's her. He wouldn't even talk to me.
I heard that the Dakota and Tanner, and I don't know if Tyler did or not, but apparently they already have a new chassis for that TLR car. They were all running a new chassis that they just released the X, and they've already got new chassis and shit that they're testing because of some shit.
But it looks like the car is working now.
Yeah.
I mean, they changed the car before it was released. Then they changed the car after it was released. So
and then they ran new chassis at this race. So it's kind of funny, but it is. I mean, they're fast with it. It's going
on this type of track. I think it suits it. Lots of smooth, and I guess high traction. You can say at times. So it was good for them. Kudos to them.
It was like Drake was kind of non-existent. He wasn't really involved in anything.
He flamed out in Truggy.
What was going on there?
Why? I don't know what his deal was. He had a really nasty look on his face, like he just wasn't having fun all weekend. And of course, hey, props to him. Props to me, actually. Me. You know how Drake gave you like 2 words? I got 2 words out of him too. So suck it. You're not the only one.
And we'll talk
Okay,
about.
so DNC Drake said no. He said 3. He said learn to tune. You remember, Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I got something better. I got mine's better than yours.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that on the rant. Okay.
Okay.
Because that's a disclaimer for the rant.
Come on.
You know,
that was like the highlight of my whole weekend, man. The club race king himself was talking to me.
You know how you and Joseph are so much alike? It's amazing. Like, you guys love dumb crap. People that impressed me this weekend, Jackson Brunson impressed me. Jackson,
he was doing good.
All 3 of his mains, he done well. He done better than what I expected. He's definitely putting in the work. He's racing a lot because he's going to race again this weekend. Lead Setzer's finally running Nitro. He listened to us at Mills Pond when we was there, Joseph, and said, look, I'm running Nitro. He didn't do good in it, but he did good in ebuggy.
Jeff Pfeiffer.
Jeff Pfeiffer. Yeah, I finally got to meet Jeff Pfeiffer.
Now, I didn't even know that JQ had a pro driver until I met him in America. Well, is that your only pro level driver?
No,
JQ?
but he didn't
even know.
No, Jeff's an ex. Like Mike Hill, he used to fly professionally in RC planes.
Yeah, I know that.
Right, but he drove well. His car looked good, and
he's running in the pro class. He got 3rd in the C. Me not showing up for the C probably helped him a little bit. He got 3rd. He bumped to the B.
Well, wait.
Mid-pack.
Let's back this truck up a little bit, Mr. World Champion Pro Driver. Why were you in the C?
Yeah.
Why,
Mr. I'm the best JQ driver in America. Why were you in the C main?
I'm the best 40 and over.
Oh no! You said
just started
you're the
racing the
best
pro.
driver.
Well, I'll tell you the reason why.
JQ has.
If I would have had the setup on, okay, so first qualifier was pro, right? My pro class was race like 20, and my 40 and over was race 35. So every round I improved my car from the pro race to the 40 race, then the pro race to the 40 race, right? So I always had my car worked better as the race went on. So after the first round of first run sucked. My second run of 40 and over, my servo was going out. Put servos in. First run of pro again. I'm out there just hurting. And then I was turn marshaling for Max. Max's rate, because I was in the B heat of pro, and Max was in the A seating. And I'm standing out there turn marshaling, watching Max's car go around the track, and it's freaking awesome. Like, it's working perfectly how it should. And that's when I told myself I'm going back to all the stock shock towers, taking off this prototype stuff that JQ came up with. And between my pro run and my 40 and over run, I went all back to the stock stuff, which was not easy to do. And it was really good in the 40. And then my last pro run was decent, but I only put me in having 1 run. So, and the best I would have done is probably been in the B. Big deal. I would have bumped to the B and probably maybe mid-pack. What do you want me to tell you?
I think
42 years old.
You could have bumped out of the B. You're better than Westergaard, aren't you?
I'm just slightly slower.
Are you?
I don't race, man. I don't even try to race with those guys. I'm starting to race pro because I don't want to run ebuggy anymore.
Turn your phone off, Greg. And Joseph, what is it like? World War III going on there? Like I had a siren with you in the visible speed segment.
That's
Dude, it's a third world country.
Yeah,
this shit happens. Okay.
But anyways, no excuses. C main. I didn't wake up. It is, and not only that, I didn't want to wear my car out and glue more tires up. Just the bump from the C to the B. Who gives a crap?
Yeah, I agree.
And even if I did make the A, I'm just going to be a waste of space. And I should make the main because there's 18 cars in there. Like half the A main should have been in the B main.
Yeah, that was a bit. I think, is it always 18 cars at this race?
Yeah,
Jeff?
there's always 18 cars. But like me and Jake, you were talking about it. Even at DNC, when you're on there shouldn't be 14, 15 cars in the main. It should be like 11, 12 maximum.
Yeah, make it more special to make the main.
If the track can support the cars, there's nothing wrong with running more cars.
Yes, there is.
Now, what I think, it goes back to what we were talking about last week, was they should qualify less cars but bump more cars so that there's more racing involved. But I mean, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, there's just a lot of waste of space. I mean, it should be like 9 make the main and 3 bump. That should be how it is.
Yeah, but just think, if they ran 12 car mains at this race, we would have been there until 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah, at this race I don't care. It's fine. It's just it's fine at this race. I'm just saying it. Big races. I mean, one that has a lot of pro guys like the DNC and stuff. I mean, it's there's too many guys in these mains.
So, but Tyler Jones won. Who won Truggy? I didn't even really pay attention to that. Bornhorst won.
Lutz win?
Lutz won. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about now that we've talked about it, let's talk about what we saw around the race, the pits and stuff like that. Certain things that I noticed as I traveled around. Soar had a good bit of pits there. Jeremy Moser, they have that kid Cole Caston. He's pretty good. He made the A main in Nitro Buggy. He might have made the A main in Truggy, I'm pretty sure. And probably, I don't know, he didn't make it in ebuggy. I can't remember.
What the hell is a Soar?
Soar is the speed.
I've seen it. It says Soar Siki. Like, is this a Mugen copy or something?
Well, Joseph, you know more about that than us.
Yeah, what is it? Is that the guy that
just
used to work at Kinball and then they went to work there, or what?
No, I don't think so. It's another guy.
Team C. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, they're pushing hard. They got a fast East Coast guy. My biggest surprise, I think, this weekend was Nemo, dude. It was Lutz, Billy, and my boy Quincy Aberdeen, who pitted with us last year. He actually drove a JQ e-buggy, but Nemo's pits there was nobody there this year.
Yeah, it was pretty empty.
Yeah,
they had that big old tent, and like 3 people in it.
Yeah.
Then they used to have more people.
Yeah.
And most of the time, Lutz and Billy were in the camper, wrenching in the camper.
Yeah. Who else? Well,
it was pretty dead. You know what I found? One of the things I thought was really, really funny is Alex Morel with NDRC. He made that post about VP Pro selling fuel at the event cheaper than they make their fuel.
Yeah,
they're selling that RC Pro blend,
but they're also selling
Ryan Lutz thing.
They're also selling VP Pro fuel. That's the thing about it.
And so they're selling that fuel, and apparently VP Pro is selling, or VP Fuel is selling the fuel cheaper than they can even get it made for to sell their own brand.
You're talking about the fuel they were selling at the race?
At the
VP
race,
Pro?
yeah.
How much were they selling it for?
Unsure.
25 a gallon.
No, they were more upset about them because Indy also sells VP Pro fuel. That's why.
Yeah, and Indy sells it for 30 a gallon.
Right. So then VP was up there selling it cheaper. And that's, and that was a shock. I was shocked to see Jimbo as their East Coast rep or something. No, they had a big, they look good up there, but I mean,
sounds like Morgan needs to make the VP Pro fill for them for cheaper. Sounds like they're getting hosed.
No, they have their own fuel.
I don't know. I ran VP Pro the fuel this weekend for the first time. It was good shit. Like I met Tommy for the first time, and he was a cool dude. He was fun to hang out with for a minute, and so I was okay with it. I just thought it was funny that Alex was bitching about it because this is the company that's making their fuel, and yet he's bashing them for selling fuel, and just a little manufacturer drama there that I
can't blame him.
No, especially not as a hobby shop. Like as a hobby shop, if I was there selling as a hobby shop, and the manufacturer's undercutting me, it makes it pretty hard to be a hobby shop, So I can totally understand why he's bitching, but
yeah, because they also pay to sell there. They pay a vendor fee, and yeah, I get it, 100%, man.
And then I was really impressed with AKA's team support. They no tent, just a table sitting there with a couple boxes. That was impressive.
That's you, Greg. Who was?
It was impressive, or you're being sarcastic?
That was super impressive. Like I was like, damn, I wish I was an AKA driver right now because of all this.
So who was there?
Excellent team support. J Concepts was there. They had their full vendor set up. Of course, JQ won the team tent challenge because we had like freaking ridiculous amount of tents. The Pro Line guys were there with their tents and all their shit.
Who?
Brian Lewis. They had 2 tents set up.
Who was that?
Florida guys.
Brian Lewis.
What's that have to do with Pro Line?
He's the East Coast team manager.
Okay.
Come on, Greg. You should like you've been around.
You should
know this stuff.
I've never heard of any of these guys.
You know who was lacking at this race too, Jeff? Serpent.
The Serpent pits were pretty empty.
Just fails.
I didn't even know that Joaquin was there until I seen him walking out like before one of the mains. I'm like, what the heck? I didn't even know you were here.
I didn't even know who he is.
Yeah, I talked to him for a minute.
Yeah, it was definitely different.
The problem with this race is the venue's so big, everybody's so spread out. Like you had all the vendors and stuff, all the hobby shops were down in the one barn, and then you had a lot of people pitting in the shit stalls down there by the hobby shop vendors, and then you had all the factory guys up in the building. All the way around, and all the way around is, it's big. So it's like everybody's so spread out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's hard to see. Like I never once went down to where the people pitted in the shit stalls down there. So it's like, I guess you should, eventually make your way down there. I never did. I never went down there.
Well, we had great
the vendor stalls one time because I had to buy some stuff, but that was it.
We had great pit spots.
What did you buy?
I needed fuel tubing. I had to buy some fuel tubing.
Wow, you hear that, Joseph? Not buying your black fuel tubing.
We didn't have any. We didn't have any anyway. We had great part support there. I was busy, so.
Yeah, you did. You worked your ass off. You did a lot.
And we got
overall, it was a
very good event.
Good race.
Yeah, it was a good event.
For me personally, I think this was this was the best PNB at this venue. Like, I still think the Unadilla facility and tracks at the Unadilla were better. But for this facility and track, I think this was the best PNB that I've been to.
Yeah, and then I went there on Monday when Degani made me go back to pick up the box that we missed. I got all those shirts and banners as well, Greg. And they pretty much had that track flat and driver stand down. And kudos.
Was Team Chicago still there with his cat?
No, they wasn't. Maybe they missed me or something. But kudos.
Did they drive there with the box thing on the back?
Yes.
Yeah, but they didn't use it. They left it outside. They bought their tent inside. They set it up. They had fun, man. They had fun. Greg tuned their engines for them. The cat's there.
On Monday.
The cat's always good to have. He's like lion cat. And yeah, it was great. It was a great event, man. I really wanted Max to do better, but at the same time, hey, this is a hard race. So
he did. I told you this already. He did exactly what I expected him to do. I expected him to make both mains with the buggy and the Nitro Buggy, but I didn't expect him to be really a contender or player because, he doesn't. even before the event, I was joking with him on Facebook about, you've never been to an East Coast race. Our racers here, they don't give a fuck who you are. If you're in their heat, they're gonna boot you off the track just as quick as they'll boot anybody else off the track.
Yeah, that was evident in the 40 over main when these guys don't move the fuck out of the way.
No, we don't care who you are, and we don't care what place we're in. If you're around us and we're racy, we're gonna race you. I don't give a shit. And that's just East Coast racing. Like you gotta move them before they move you.
There was some guy in our race I call this the Steve Dunn maneuver, where you're getting ready to lap Steve Dunn and he doesn't move. He kind of stays fast for a while. Like, he starts keeping up at your pace. That happened to me with a couple guys in that 40 and over main, and they're just right in front of me, would not move out of the line. And finally, I just had to run them over because I had to catch this Cicerello, And I'm dealing with these guys, and Jimmy's not calling any traffic, of course, until the last 5 minutes, which I appreciate really well. Normally Jimmy's out to screw me all the time, but he finally did call some traffic.
It was a good event.
Yeah. So I that's exactly where I kind of expected him, being his first time here, and even the late hours. And he didn't manage his time very well. He didn't really manage his time, and so I knew he was going to be tired. I knew it was going to be hard, and
he wasted 6 hours trying to get that stupid truggy going,
which he should have ran. But that's another argument. But anyway,
yeah.
So. But anyway, we could drag.
And then I had
this.
my Drake incident, so I get to talk about my Drake incident.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that in the wrap.
Oh, God, you're making me wait. This is so epic. I love my Drake incident.
I know, and I had a really good Drake incident because him and I had a really good talk. And
so is he coming on the show?
I mean, I hope I get him on one day, but I mean, it's gonna be difficult. But we had a really good talk. But I'm pretty sure, we had a really good talk. He knows that, he has nothing against me, and I have nothing against him. We all know that you and him don't get along, and obviously Jeff.
Look, I get along with him. He doesn't get along with me.
I get along with him fine, but he hates me. I don't get it.
Yeah, I kind of get it, but anyway. What? We're gonna do this on the rant. Look, let's get this because we've been rambling on for about an hour about this race. I want to say kudos and thank you to Dave Lycom. He put on a great show. He gave us some good pit spots. We had fun.
Wait! How about him cutting the shit out of Bobby with the grinding wheel and sending Bobby to the hospital?
That we forgot about that.
What's that all about? I heard something about this.
Yeah, Dave amped up his gore of the Psycho Nitro Blast by offering to cut you with the grinding wheel. Anybody who wanted to be cut, he was going to get the grinding wheel and just cut your lamb leg off. And the only person who took him up on it was Bobby.
It was actually, but Bobby's got some bad luck. It was a mistake. Oh, gracias. It was a mistake, and Bobby zigged when he should have zagged, and then I was like, "Where's Bobby?"
What? Can you explain the whole situation?
They were down by the track, and they were fixing a piece of pipe. And Dave had the grinder because he was grinding a piece of pipe to put a new piece in. And then the two of them started wrestling while Dave had the grinder in his hand, and he turned it on and accidentally cut the shit out of his leg.
And so huge gash.
Yeah, and it left this big old flap of skin, just laid it open.
Oh God.
And so
he needed 10 stitches.
Yeah. And so they rushed him off the track, and there's this big blood trail going from the track all the way to the RaceTime trailer. And they were trying to patch it up in the trailer. And then Dave was sitting there trying to explain. He's like, I just tried to fold this flap over and stick some gauze in there. And he's like, I'm just sticking some shit in it, sticking it in. And it was just bleeding too bad. So then they loaded him up and took him to the hospital, and he had to get some stitches.
Hey, Bobby has...
Joseph, it was a gnarly gash. I mean, it's no joke how big this gash was. It was opened up about 3/4 of an inch on his leg.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And probably about 3 inches long.
But Bobby's...
Go ahead. Basically, with everything you've told me about this race, I just feel like it's good I wasn't there.
I'm glad you wasn't there.
No way. You should have been there. You screwed up.
Yeah, you did screw up, man. We would have had so much fun.
Why did you need to go back to the Philippines so quickly? You needed to get laid?
No.
Yes.
Because of work. You know?
What?
I have
What
to work
couldn't
and
you
shit.
have? What couldn't you have done working here?
Everything I've done while I've been here, preparing
What?
for the race.
You got a special
Preparing
internet
the
connection?
race. No, preparing the race, which I have to be here to actually do.
Anyway,
Because no one else is gonna,
Well,
get the trophies.
Obviously, you didn't get much work done because you couldn't get on Facebook, and all the work is done on Facebook. So you weren't
No,
getting
that's
much
just
shit done
for
anyway.
like getting people signed up and paid and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's different.
That's the excuse. Anyway, thank you, Greg, for coming. It was fun. That's the main thing, Jeff. We had a lot of fun, and people have to remember
I had
that.
a lot of fun, and that whoever brought you that bourbon, that shit was good.
Kevin Thompsovinik bought us some bourbon.
Hats off to Kevin for bringing some good shit to the track to drink.
Remember him, Joseph? He was practicing with us at Palm Desert.
Yeah.
Yeah, he bought me a bottle of bourbon, and Keeton was looking sad, so I said, "Here, man."
That's because I was pit next to Charlie and Blotty. I mean, how can you not be sad?
Well, it's like a mix, and that was good, man. But
Hey, Keenan, how come you're tired every day so much, and you don't even wrench or go up and down the stairs all day?
I was walking all around.
Yeah, you get tired walking around.
Oh my god!
Did you walk around to get podcast interviews?
No, it was too loud in there, dude. It was too loud. Too loud inside there to do any of that.
By the way, I like Dave Lycom's comment about your JQ team pictures. Out of all the epic places you could take a picture, you chose the red doors to do it in.
Well, where else are you gonna do it?
Dude, that was
pretty funny.
That was the hardest. But anyway, look, we're not gonna go on about my messes up. Okay, I messed up. I should have done the team picture. I didn't know. I didn't know they were gonna water between the first round early. I should have done it right there and then, but I hadn't announced it, and I messed up. But our team was so big, I couldn't get everybody together anyway. So, boom.
Yeah,
actually, that's why you did two different pictures.
And we still didn't get everybody in there.
And to be honest, getting a team picture done is hell. I know from experience.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
And that's why he was like, get the picture, make sure you get that picture.
I was telling you, get the picture from before the race even started. And then every morning, every night, I saw you posted on Facebook, like, team picture tomorrow at 9 a.m. or whatever, or whenever it was. And then you canceled it because Max wasn't there. And I'm like, big mistake. Don't do that. Just take the goddamn picture. If one guy's missing, big deal.
Yeah, but I didn't want to take it without Max there. But anyway, it was a great event. Kudos to Dave. It was good. The track was great. Believe it or not, it was a long race, but everything ran smoothly. There were no hiccups, no timing hiccups. I mean, they did stop for watering. Bobby and the Trackmasters crew done a good job. Bobby looked like he had fun, even though he got his leg almost cut off. Jeff, you look like you had fun. I think all of our guys that pitted with us have had fun.
And you sold a kit.
I sold all 3 kits.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So, hopefully I won't have to carry parts soon. Hopefully, one of these hobby shops, maybe India, somebody takes up and carries parts because they go to all these races, and I won't have to carry parts there to do it. So, it was a great race.
Yeah.
I guess Silver State is the next big race for you, Greg, where you get to race Cheeky again and get to race Saxton. Jeff, you said you might go to that race, so that should be good. And, yeah, I don't know.
Do you see Paul Cicerello is actually practicing getting ready?
Well, maybe you should do the same thing.
I told him I don't need to, apparently.
Maybe you should maybe you should run your ebuggy too.
No ebuggy. He's sending me pictures of him at outdoor tracks practicing.
He's getting ready, dude.
I saw that.
Paul's cool. I like Paul. Gotta get him on the podcast. He's got a lot to say as well. So anyway, thank you, Greg, for coming on. Thank you for coming to the race. You made it fun as usual. Obviously, Jeff, you made it fun, and you helped out a lot of people too. I appreciate that. And did somebody just fart?
No, that was my stomach.
All right. Well, Greg, we're going to let you go, and we're going to go into the JQ Racing rant. And before I do that, I have to do my disclaimer.
What's the JQ Racing rant?
Oh,
Just rant about something.
I never listened to your podcast, though.
do you want to be a part of the rant too, Greg? I don't know if we should. I don't know if we should let you be a part of
No,
it.
we can't let Greg be a part of it.
No, you have no.
You have to listen to it when it's released.
Yeah,
What
you can't.
is it about?
We just rant about a subject and then we offer solutions to it.
You need to listen to what episode was the epic rant? Was it the last one or the one before?
The one before.
No, it was the one with Mayfield.
Yeah, but hey, Greg.
Okay.
I want to
go listen to the rant in the episode with Mayfield. The last hour of it. Just listen to that. Then you know what the rant is.
Nah, I don't think about RC when I'm not at the track.
Good. Well, you have fun at Silver State. You have a lot of guys there to help out.
Yeah, why aren't you coming to Silver State?
I don't know. Maybe Joseph's going to send me to the Philippines. I don't know yet.
Oh, yeah. Joseph? Let's clear this up. Are you sending Lefty to the Philippines to take pictures with his right arm?
You're petitioning for Lefty to get a raise, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we forgot about that.
So I think the raise is more important than sending him to the Philippines.
Not according to him.
To be honest. Or he would rather go to the Philippines than get a raise.
Well, I'm going to get a raise here soon anyway, whether you like it or not. So I ain't worried about you.
Whoa.
Oh, how are you going to do that?
Don't worry.
I'm surprised. I'm shocked that he's still even getting a paycheck. Like, what the hell is he getting a paycheck for? He can't even take a team picture.
Yeah, I suck. I do 2 jobs.
But he did sell 3 cars, so that's good.
Yeah, that's all I'm good for. Not.
So what's
Hey,
that?
speaking
$1 a kid?
speaking of paychecks, do we get a bonus for the 40+ thing or what?
You need to look up what
kind
you
of
have
contingency do we get?
You have to go on the website and check what the contingency is.
I'm
Well,
surprised.
you're the owner of the company. You should know this.
God.
You wrote
Okay,
it.
let me
No.
look it up right now.
First
No,
place
geez.
is $100 store credit. I know that, and you owe me a lot of store credit.
Yeah, but look, you haven't read the fine print. Let me open it.
The
if
fine
you go on our
print is Jeff and Greg are not allowed in the contingency program.
Okay,
You'll
the
get
JQ
something.
Racing Contingency Program 2019.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh, maybe it's
2019
updated for
races.
first place.
No, this is updated for every year. It's updated. So here it says.
Okay, PNB.
Listen, all Greg Degani contingencies are paid out in Krispy Kreme donuts. It says on the thing.
Really?
Yeah. So
Okay,
you just won
How many
donuts.
Krispy Kremes do I get?
For a win, I think it's a dozen.
Well, where's my dozen at? Can you mail them to me?
No, let's just.
You owe me
add
2
them all
dozen.
up. We add them all up, and then when I'm over there, then we get them.
I see.
Like every race, you just get a ton of donuts.
Okay.
That's how we do it. So 40+, let's see, PNB. PNB, 40+, you only get store credit. You get $100
For first
for
place.
the win. Yeah, where did you finish, Jeff?
I finished 5th.
You get $30.
I get $30.
Yeah.
Come on, damn.
It's
That's-
store credit.
No, sorry. It's like store credit works as 1.5 times the money, I think. I haven't done this in a
So
long
you get
time. Yeah.
you get $45.
$45 you get $45. What else did you guys race?
I wonder
What do
if
you
I
mean?
could. I wonder if I could
45 bucks
get
of what?
45
Store
bucks
credit.
of store credit.
Yeah,
Why did
like
you
go
say
to
$30?
BHRC and because if it was money, you would get $30 in money. But because 40+ is only store credit is 1.5 times the amount of money.
Now, how does he collect on that?
BHRC.
But is there a coupon code he puts in, or what's the
No,
deal?
you just put a $45. We have to figure it out.
Yeah, we'll
It
figure
sounds
it
like
out.
a big hassle for
Yeah,
45
that's
bucks.
easy. Just go on. You don't get shit. You just get donuts. So don't even worry about that.
All right, we're gonna
You could have
end
made
this.
the pro class main. I mean, well, the pro class you could have made some
Max-
good money.
Max made
Yeah?
it pro.
What did Max get for last
Well, nothing
place?
because you have to make top 10. Like 10th place. 10th place gets $100. Dude, 7th place gets $250. That's pretty good.
Yeah, PNB's got big
Fifth
pickles.
place is $400. If you win, you get $1,000.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, PNB had some good
Only
payout.
$1,000 to win?
Yeah.
How much for the Silver State if you win?
Same 1,000.
That's weak.
It's
especially when
glorified club race. Come on, 5 fast
especially
guys.
when PNB's twice as big as Silver State.
You hear that, Jeff Pfeiffer? You listening? Because you're in the pro class, dude. You could get that money.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Greg, for coming on.
Hey, did we have someone in the open class, main?
Yes.
I'm gonna
Trent.
run. I think I'm
Trent.
gonna run the pro class, and I'm gonna get somebody to fly a drone and just take all the drivers.
Hey, who was in the open class, main?
Trent, and you also
Let
we
me
had,
finish.
and also we had Salty Joe and
I was in the ebuggy. Did we get anything for ebuggy?
no, nothing at all. And Trent and Mike Anderson were in and somebody else. And Jason Stubbs, but he broke. That's another. He did good too. I forgot to mention about Jason. He did good. Him and his dad were there. They were leading. They took the Joker lane all 3 races, and they were leading, and then they made a mistake, and something happened. Something broke.
So
Now, he bumped from the B to the A, right?
Yeah, he did. He bumped from the C to the A.
And was leading the A, JQ, in the sportsman class.
Oh, and then he broke.
Yeah.
Yes.
His
well,
motor.
you should have seen his engine.
motor
every
moved.
Every screw came out of his engine mount, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah, they had a good time, man. Jason's grown. Hey, remember when we saw him at Southern Nats? He's tall. Like, he's taller than me now.
Everybody's taller than you.
Yeah, not you. And not Max.
All right, we got to move on.
All right.
Okay.
Talk to you later, Greg. Thanks, guys.
Oh, thanks. You guys are just hanging up on me?
Yeah, it's time to go.
Now, how do I listen to the rest of the show?
When it's released.
Oh, this isn't live?
No.
Here we go, Greg and technology again.
All right.
Isn't that the whole point of a podcast?
No,
live. Like JQ sits there and he can't wait for these motorcycle podcasts. And he's beating off, waiting for them.
All right, ebuggy. Talk to you later. Thanks for coming on, Greg.
All right.
Okay.
Make sure I get my $85. All right.
Yeah,
for my
no
fuel
worries.
and maintenance there, JQ. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And thank you for
Okay.
sending my expenses. Before the race.
Yep.
Lucky you. Lucky you.
Yep.
buddy.
Lucky me.
Hey,
Sorry, Beach.
Sorry about Beach RC is paying for this race, not me. So
Yeah. Sorry about that.
we need to bring this up with Beach RC.
All right,
And
Joseph. And we got
I'll
Sirens
hit you
going
up for
off
some
again.
Silver State expensive, JQ. All right. Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Now we go into the JQ Racing rant. Now I'm going to put this disclaimer every week before the JQ Racing rant. The JQ Racing rant is sponsored by JQ Racing. We do what we want, so should you. So sometimes the language gets a little foul. We rant about stuff, but we try to offer solutions. But I understand that some children listen to this podcast. So if you have, if your children and you're listening to this podcast and you don't want them to hear the rant, that's fully understandable. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. We greatly appreciate it. If your podcast listening ends now, if not, enjoy the rant. Let us know who wins, and thank you for all the support. It's overwhelming, the support that we're getting for the podcast, and keep on listening and keep on liking and sharing, and just without you guys, we cannot do it. So your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you all, and remember, Nitro is the glory, but ebuggy pays the bills.
We are now at that point of the show where you should fasten those seatbelts and put your big boy pants on. Whoa. Things are about to get serious. It's time for the JQ Racing Rant.
So it's that time of the podcast, everybody. It's a JQ Racing Rant. We have JQ and Jeff Big Sexy Keeton on.
What
what
is this big sexy thing?
Because he's big sexy.
Because I'm sexy, dog.
Just because he has boobs doesn't mean he's sexy.
Yo, I'm sexy.
Come on, that's not a real nickname.
No, you know what?
Keep calling him that.
Yes,
I'm sexy.
Yeah, we call him Big Sexy because you know
shit
what?
Fountain once, shit fountain.
I'll tell you what. Jeff has more.
I did like the shit fountains. Bobby took that one personal. He didn't like the shit.
Yeah,
I thought it was
real
pretty
mad.
funny. Yeah, he did. I thought it was pretty funny though.
You know why? Because Jeff has way more game than you'll ever have, Joseph.
Wow.
Simple as that.
Hang on.
What kind of game?
I'm taking a shot.
Grinder.com.
Grind? I don't even know what that is.
Don't lie.
Huh?
Grinder is the gay Tinder.
Oh, I don't know what that is. Sorry. I don't look at stuff like that. You do all the Tindering, or used to.
No, I'm on countries only.
FarmersOnly.com?
Farmers only.
Wow. Anyway, so what's the rant?
Yeah.
Okay. So today's rant is it's kind of on a twofold thing, but the main topic is why. The rant is going to be why. Why do we do what we do? We just got back.
Idiots.
We just got back from PNB, 3-day race, 780 entries, 24 hours of practice, 20 hours of qualifying, and 18 hours of mains. No sleep, hardcore racing, huge track, sniffing fumes, partying, drinking. I mean,
don't make me start talking about people getting punched in the face.
All of this stuff that we went through this last weekend so that we can make the top 5 in our class, so we can walk up onto that podium and we can listen to Dave scream out our name, Jeff Keeton taking 5th place, and he hands me my trophy. Well, in this case, it was a foam cutout with some graphics on it. And then he goes around the rest of them, and they all get their foam cutouts with some graphics on them. Like, seriously. We're spending thousands of dollars to go to these races, doing ridiculous things at the races for what? For a cardboard cutout with some graphics on it. Are you fucking serious? Like, what happened to the actual trophy? What happened to the Farm 2 and we had those cool
Those were badass.
Aluminum.
The pistons or something?
Yeah, the pistons with the skulls and, you know, something to be proud of, something to be like, you can grab this thing and it actually has some weight to it. Dude, my fucking cardboard cutout didn't even make it home. It got fucking ruined on the trip home because I set a car on it and it fucking sank. Like, I was so disappointed in where we're going with these awards. I get that we don't race for money and that we're probably never going to race for any real money, whatever. But we went from trophies, tangible trophies, to plaques, to acrylic plaques, and now we as racers are okay with cardboard. We're racing for fucking cardboard. Are you fucking serious?
You know, I have to agree with you. I think, well, there's 2 parts to this. One, yes, it's much nicer to get something that you can look back on and it brings back all the memories of the event, because that's how the trophies I have, at least, or the nice awards I have, that's how they work. Like, I save them, and then when I look at it, I remember the race. Like, I remember things about the race which I maybe wouldn't be able to recall otherwise. It's weird, but the trophy it symbolizes that event. And so that's why I like them, because the trophies bring back memories. Oh, I remember winning this. I remember getting this. I remember flying home with the trophy, like all kinds of stuff like that it brings to mind. So I like that. But I think we're kind of missing the main point if we just focus on the trophy, because the trophy is just a symbol, I think, of the overall situation we're in right now. And the situation is that this is a hobby for most people. And why do people do hobbies? They do hobbies because they're fun. They enjoy doing them. And having said that, the goal, like the fun part, isn't supposed to be what you receive at the end of the event. The fun part should be the event itself, everything that goes on, and the racing you do. And then if you do well, you get a trophy, and that's good.
And I agree with that. I mean, and if you take PNB, not to cut you off, but if we take PNB, we did have fun. It was the best PNB that I've been to in a long time. So the fun factor, the atmosphere, the pits, everything was on point. Everything was great. Yeah. And for those that were lucky enough to get an award, they got an award that isn't, these things won't make it a year. Like I mean, you're not going to be able to do what you're doing now, is looking back 5 years, 10 years from now and say, oh, I remember that award. That's when Degani yelled out, you suck, or whatever the hell he yells out.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
A fucking drone hits Joe in the face, you know. You're not going to have that because it's not going to be there.
Yeah, so that brings me to my second point, which is the lack of trophies is just a symbol of the issues we're going through, which is these big races, I feel, dictate or kind of show the way for all the other races. So I think it was actually Neo Race we have to blame for the whole plaque thing, because it used to be all about trophies, and then the Neo Race became a big event, and they started out giving, I think, pit mats and plaques and these sorts of things, and then suddenly everyone started doing it, and there were no trophies anymore. And the issue we have now is that the race organizers are just looking at entries. How do we make the most amount of money? And they aren't looking at how do we make the best possible event for the racers. And I understand it. I think Keaton's opening a bar or something.
I am. I'm getting another drink because
you have a personal bar in your house. So anyway, that's how I see the situation right now. There are less big races with the focus of making a great event. Like, let's figure this out to where it's as much fun as possible for the racers. And there are more events focused on let's get as many entries as we can and make as much money as we can. So I just like using this event as an example, which is the Bitti Design Contest in Italy. The focus is on the event itself. They cap the entries. They have a break on Sunday, and they offer everyone some food and drinks. They have music playing. They have a bar on site throughout the event. And the whole atmosphere at the Bitti Design Contest is just about fun. It's like a party race, sort of. Everyone gets a lot of track time. And
I need to go to that race.
Yeah, and they've just they have put the focus on the enjoyment of the people there. Like, everyone has covered pits, tables, chairs, air pressure to clean the car. Like, everything's there for you. It's a good facility, and it's a fun race. That's how I feel more of the big races used to be. Now it's all about as many entries as possible. You don't get much track time per entry, so everyone races multiple classes. You go to a race and there's not even a table and chair for you. There's not even covered pits necessarily. So you need a tent, you need a table, you need a chair if you go there. There's no place to clean your car. There's nothing. Like, they offer nothing to the racer. The fact that you don't get a trophy is just kind of the icing on the cake, like the cherry on top. That's just one of the things they don't offer.
Well, yeah, I mean that is a big thing that separates the U.S. races from the Euro races. I mean, the Euro guys, they do offer all that other stuff. I mean, at least here, we've never had, for the most part, we've never had the whole covered pits and tables and chairs being provided. I mean, so we're always been accustomed to bring our own shit. But we've always gotten, like, to me, again, I put more emphasis on the awards, because the awards for me is what we strive to get. Like, we going to the event and, well, let me change this up a little bit. Why? My original question is, why do we do this, right? So for me personally, why do I do it? Why do I go to the races? Because I enjoy the event. I enjoy the people. Especially now in my racing career, I enjoy the pit atmosphere and the bullshit and the fun and the drama that goes on at the races more than I actually enjoy racing. I still love racing. I still love driving my car. I still like all that stuff. But that's not my main focus. So on the off chances that I do well and I do get on the podium and I do win something, to me, that is back to what you're working for, right? You want that trophy. And I just don't understand why we as racers have allowed the trophies to get so cheap. And they are. I mean, I don't know.
I completely agree. I
don't know how much they've spent on trophies, but fuck, I mean,
probably not much.
Fucking cardboard with some graphics. Like, how much can that be? I don't know.
Well, here's the deal. I completely understand why the races are the way they are. Focus on the entry count, minimize the cost of putting the event on, and make money. So. The number one thing is...
taking PNB, he does go above and beyond on the atmosphere. Like, everything else is way above any other race that you ever go to. Like,
but isn't that his main company? That's what he normally does, right?
No, I mean, he has his haunted house as his main income.
Yeah. So it's free for him. He just brings the stuff there.
Yeah.
That he normally uses. Yeah.
Right.
But the point is that putting on these races isn't free. It takes a lot to do. And there isn't that much money actually around. So you need the entries to pay for the race. Like in the RC industry right now, you need the entry money to pay for the race. But there needs to be a balance between just making the most possible money that you can and putting on the best possible event that you can. So if you put on the best possible event, you're going to lose money. If you just maximize your income, the event's not going to be very good. So I feel like this balance is a bit off at the moment. So the racers in RC, I feel, are satisfied or happy with too little. Like they don't really demand much from the organizer. So like, hey, build a track and have a lap counter and we'll be happy, sort of thing. And I just don't really understand that. So one of my hopes is that just like we went away from trophies and how the popular big races kind of influence the way the rest of the races are run, formats and schedules and all these things. One of my hopes is that whatever happens with RCGP, I hope that the events we put on and the schedule we use and the formats we run and the trophies we give away and everything that we do, I hope that helps to influence the other races in RC to be more like that. Does that make sense? So instead of having 10-day long races, I hope more races start being shorter, 2 or 3 days. Right. And I hope we start getting more track time. And I hope we race more heads-up races. And I hope the race organizers put more effort into having a nice facility for the drivers. So they have, tables and chairs, and they have compressors to clean the car and all of this sort of stuff. So that's one of my hopes with the series, that we eventually influence the rest of the races in the world also to be better than what they are now.
Like some more
what kind
trophies.
of awards are you giving away for the RCGP?
Well, we only have trophies now. So, I mean, just metal cups, trophies. It's something that we want to...
Challenge? Do you remember?
Plaques.
I think the winner got a trophy, actually.
Yeah. But it's, know what?
Plaques in general.
You know what? Trophies looked pretty bad. Well, my first big race that I went to was at the Farm 1, and they had Lance had this, like we just talked about. I thought
Yeah, those are the best.
And Patrick Rossett actually put up a picture of it before we went to PNB, and it brought back so many memories. But it's funny, Joseph, because I sent you those pictures of the trophy from the guy today, Anders.
Yeah.
The glass trophies. I definitely think it makes it worthwhile more. You know, like it gives you something to, like we say, we're chasing trophies. Yes, we're all men and we're having competition, but I mean, having something that you, like you said, that you can be like, hey, I won that, like, and it's not just a plaque. Like I got a whole bunch of, believe it or not, I actually have a whole bunch of plaques from racing here in the Dominican Republic, and they're not even on my wall. Like they're just stacked up somewhere. Whereas my kid, I had a little trophy, and it's like, oh, where did you win this? And he pulled it apart and broke it, but you know, I still had a trophy to.
Well, yeah, like I mean, most people toss the trophies. Like they're kind of meaningless for the most part, except for the ones that matter. So for like me, like I still have my trophies from the farm, those cool ones with the skull. I still have those. And I still have the stuff that they gave us when I went to the Worlds in Sweden. But like outside of that, I don't have a lot of the trophies left over because I mean, one, they stack up and they just, you know, nobody has a trophy room that big or cares. But I don't know. It just seems like to me, we've really gone downhill in that stuff. I mean, to me, this cardboard cutout thing didn't even make it home. Like it literally got fucking torn up on the way home. And you know, to me, that's just a shame. Like it's just like, to me, that was the biggest fail part of the PNB race was the trophies. It was like,
what is the baddest ass trophy you've seen?
The trophy is just a symptom of the bigger problem, I think.
Yeah. What is the best trophy you've seen so far? There's been some interesting ones I've seen over the years.
Well, honestly, the best ones that I've ever won was when I raced boats. And for the nationals, for model boat racing, they always did like really unique stuff. Mm-hmm. And I got these trophies that have like, it was from the San Diego Nationals. And all the trophies were in shapes of like big fish. Mm-hmm. So like I have one that was a big whale, and I have one that was like a big swordfish, and it had, you know, your name on there was like a scribed plaque that was attached to it. So I had like the fish, and then there was scribed plaque of the class and your name and all that stuff. Yeah. So like that was the cool shit that I've had. And then for car racing, the best one I ever received was that one from the farm. Yeah. And then the stuff I got from Sweden for the Worlds.
Yeah, I hope more organizers get and do something different, man, because the plaques are kind of redundant now, and they just stack up. Like they just, like, I have a pile of plaques here. Not saying I'm some fast racer, but you know, I raced in the DR and we had some stuff here, but definitely bring back the trophies and make it original. Like, you know, just, I think it makes it worthwhile for the people.
Well, like regardless of the event, to me, if it's a cool trophy, you keep it because it's different and it's unique. But like this PNB thing, the cardboard, I mean, it's just, I mean, that's just useless. It sucks.
Yeah. And it could, and no offense to Dave and them guys, because they put on a really good show. And
the event was amazing. It was like the best.
Maybe he'll listen to this and say, you know what, them guys are right. Let's have trophies.
Oh no, he's gonna get pissed at me. He's gonna fucking lose his shit.
Probably, but
he gets so mad at me because when I made the comment that the PNB is just another race, it's becoming just another race, Dave got so mad at me over that.
Well, it kind of is. How is it not?
Well, at the time when I made that statement, it was kind of just another race. But this year, he really stepped it up. Like, he brought back a lot of shit. He brought back the rocket car launch, and that was that was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Like it was fun to be there. I mean, to see the crowd that it drew, and I mean,
actually, they didn't have it when I was there.
Yeah, I mean that was a lot of fun, and he brought back, even the atmosphere around the track. He brought back a lot more of the
monsters,
the monsters and the gory shit, and what else? Fucking cutting Bobby with the grinder. I mean, that was even cool. Like that, there was some good shit that he did.
I like what Dave does. I would definitely like to. I think he would make some really cool trophies. I think if anybody can make good trophies, it would definitely be him.
See, to me, I would think that as much as Dave puts on image, and Dave is all about image and making sure that everything is pristine. When you show up, he wants the track built and ready to go, and everything's just in place and ready. To me, I would think that he would put more emphasis on the trophy itself, but he hasn't. And it's really, even year after year, even though they're nice, like the graphics and stuff on the trophy itself are nice, but it's still cardboard. And like, cardboard doesn't last. It doesn't shit. Mine didn't even make it home. Like I literally set it in my car, and I set my car on top of it, and by the car moving around, it scratched it all up. Like it was fucking useless.
Thanks to you bringing this up, maybe for next year he will. I mean, this is kind of part of what I started saying. So what I hoped RCGP would do is influence other races and just improve RC for the average racer, and more fun, because more effort is put into the events. Well, same thing with this podcast. Why did we start this podcast? To bring up these sorts of things, and hopefully, things will improve.
Yeah. And by the way,
just the fact that you talk about it, maybe next year there are nice trophies.
By the way,
so that's just one small example.
Off topic, the love that I received about the podcast was, I think I gave away all my stickers the first day. It's pretty cool that people came up and said they like this podcast, and they like our rants. They like the interviews with the drivers, and we got a lot of very positive comments about this. So we guys are doing some good work. Off topic, just I forgot to mention that earlier. See?
That's good. That's
good stuff. But and also, Joseph, I wanted to say something real quick before we sign off, because it's getting late and we don't have a long rant tonight. I really like the today's RCGP video, and I like the fact that we talked about the affiliate, like having clubs that are affiliated to RCGP, because we know that when new people come in, they need places to race and learn about RC. So I've had a few questions today asking about that. Obviously, you don't have the website up and working, and it's free. People can become an affiliate for free. The point is for people to know, like if you're in Iowa, what track's close by for you to race at? This track. So that was pretty good.
Yeah, we had to put a bit of pressure on PS to get that sign up. So the video's up, but the link will be working here in the next couple of days. Yeah,
I think that's good stuff, and that's good for every track or every club around the world. So once the website gets signed up, sign up for that, guys, because it's we need to get club racing going again as well.
Yeah, this whole RCGP thing, it's like a 3-year project with a 1-year budget at this point. So we really have to make this first year count and work so that we can actually fulfill all the ideas and things we want to do. Right. But hopefully the first year is a success, so we can get sponsors.
Well, you better give away some decent fucking trophies.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, well, they will also improve over there.
They look good.
Season.
I saw them.
There's only so much we can do with the budget we have.
I like
JQ. All you got to do is go dig up one of them tin cans you got laying around and fucking just throw an extra little, $10K or $12K into some trophies.
What do I dig up? Where do I dig
that tin can where you bury all your money?
What money?
Coffee
all
can.
The money
Are you one of these people that thinks I'm rich?
Yeah, you're in the Philippines. You're probably driving around in a Ferrari and shit. I mean, we know.
That's like the biggest scam ever. It's not even a scam, but it's just so good.
I heard that you have like infinity money, but you're too cheap to spend it.
If this guy had infinity money, and I'm catching a bus from North Carolina to Miami, I would be upset. Trust me.
Trust me. You have MX racing money. That's what it is.
Imagine the things that would be going on if I have that money. These guys are like signing drivers. Oh my god. Yeah, there would be a lot more going on than just signing drivers.
No, I think we need to bring back cool
Infinity is
trophies.
really good because Infinity supports all the on-road racing and that stuff. That's kind of what these money men need to do more of. Like there seems to be some people in RC with good money, but like they aren't doing anything good for RC. At least Infinity is like making an effort and doing good stuff. Like basically carrying those on-road series that they have,
Yeah.
So and now supporting RCGP too. So
good stuff.
They're putting it to good use.
Good stuff. And we got a race. We didn't even mention. We got a race coming up next week. We got the DXR Dirt Kings race, which will be good. It'll be Easter, but I'll be tuned in because it's going to have a lot of European racers. And yes, it's not the Neo race, but it's at the same place. It's the same people building the track, and the racing should be good. So I'll be getting my fix.
And they made a special point to make sure Joseph didn't show up.
Yeah, Joseph.
Yeah, they did. Confirmed, not attending.
Actually, it'd be good. I'm gonna Joseph. We should talk and maybe get them on the podcast and see what they have to say because they're funny too. They're pretty savage. So good stuff.
Yeah, maybe. When is the race? Next week?
Yeah, next weekend. It's Easter. It's fun time here in Dominican Republic.
So maybe have them on after the race.
Yeah, they
talk about the race.
They actually have every year this year they have a alcohol ban. It starts at 12 a.m. Friday to 12 a.m. Saturday, and then it's just like the floodgates open, and people just Easter down here is really big. You'll see it too. It's probably big in the Philippines as well, Joseph. So, but yeah. Good stuff. We definitely need better trophies.
This would be a good weekend for me to come to the DR.
Yeah, it would be if you could find a hotel near me.
What do you mean? I'm staying at your house.
Oh yeah, you can always stay here. You might fit in the bed that we have there. You're kind of tall, but yeah, you can stay there. But anyway, guys, thank you for coming on.
Well, you got a hot wife. I'll just stay with her.
Yeah, that would work. I don't know how good that will work out.
He has a killer dog too. Jesus Christ!
This dog does.
I'm still traumatized.
Oh, good lord!
You could basically snap your leg off.
You're scared of Mike Hill's Rocky. So come on, like what's going on?
Not really scared of him.
Yes, you are. Dogs make you nervous.
Oh, just a bit.
Anyway, it's getting late. Thank you, Jeff, for your time. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you to all the No Name RC podcast listeners. We really appreciate it. Your support is appreciated. Thank you for the love that you guys sending messages. I know you guys enjoy our podcast. We're working hard to make them better. And I hope you guys learned something. No giveaways this week. Nothing like that. This is like an off-the-cuff type of podcast because we're all tired from PNB. And, yeah. Tune in. RCGP podcast coming up maybe this week too. And thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Joseph. Anything to say before we go?
No, you killed all my thunder with the other one, so I'm good.
That's all right. Well, remember, Nitro is the glory, but ebuggy pays the bills. What?
And by the way, we had a censored rant. I just want to put that out there. People can speculate.
Yeah.
And it wasn't my rant.
Yeah,
Keeton. We had to censor Keeton.
I can't believe I got censored. Like I'm lost.
We had to censor.
So there you go. We're not shit fountains on this show. We have one, but we censor him when he goes off the rails.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for your time, and hey, this is episode 22, and it's over. Goodbye.
I just want to say one thing. Can your ebuggy pay my bills now, please?
Can you hurry up and get the ebuggy out so we can sell some? There you go. Boom. Shut up. Good night, everybody.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to the No Name RC podcast. Please tune in next time for more fresh RC content. And if you can, please also support us on patreon.com/The Quay Grain. We will greatly appreciate it. And don't forget, Nitro is the glory.